Welcome back to the Earn by Experience podcast, and thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Browse. This week is episode 7. I had my buddy Jeff Brown on. Jeff's a local tattoo artist, and it was super fun to have him in the studio and unpack his background and what led him to where he's at. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode as much as I did. We ran a little long, so bear with us. It was just too much fun to hang out. So as always, thank you for the like, share, subscribes. It means a lot, and it just helps us grow. So I appreciate all that. And I hope you guys enjoy the episode. See ya.
Appreciate you having me on here.
Dude, I'm pumped you're here.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
This is an awesome little studio. I like how you got it laid out. It's comfortable.
Thanks, man.
I feel like I could just put my feet up and kick it.
Hell yeah. Well, that's what it's all about. And it's not too cold.
Not too cold.
When you put a sweatshirt on.
It's a little brisk when you first got here, but
Yeah.
I'll warm up.
Yeah, man. I'm digging it, dude. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I actually just put a new light in behind you the other day. I noticed with one of the guests, it was kind of dark back there. And I was like, well, I know I can access it from the back side. So I just pulled the aluminum off the back. Boom, boom, boom. Put it up, put a switch in, done. So,
Done deal.
Yeah. Didn't you have to mess with the interior wall at all?
No, I think you got all that stuff figured out.
Yeah, man.
I think we're to the point where we can just bullshit now.
Oh, yeah. That's what it's all about, dude.
Yeah.
But Jeff Brown, dude. So we met when you brought some stuff in to be powder coated, and you introduced yourself as Jersey Jeff. Remember that?
Man, yeah, I do.
Jersey Jeff.
Jersey Jeff, that kind of stuck with me down here for a little bit. Got to give my buddy Todd credit for that when he started calling me that. But being from Jersey, coming down here, I definitely am a little different. You know what I mean? I'm a little more outspoken, a little loud, and I think that stands out. So the Jersey title is perfect.
Yeah.
Because you head up there, we all are like this.
Yeah.
Every one of us.
Did you grow up there? You were born and raised there?
South Jersey, born and raised. Outside of Camden, New Jersey, Belmar, Lindenwold, Pine Hill, the whole region. I bounced all over the place. But It's a solid little area to grow up if you can navigate it.
Mm-hmm. When I think of Jersey, I know it's got a bad rap with dirty Jersey and all this stuff. And I've only ever been through it. And I have a buddy that lives there in Bridgeton area. Mm-hmm. But when I'm there, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when I'm there, it's like country. It's very farmish and lots of cows and produce. It looks like lots of blueberries or some sort of vines, of grapes maybe.
Blueberry capital of the world.
Okay.
In New Jersey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, like Garden State. The reason they call it Garden State is because 90% of that state is beautiful.
Yeah.
Most people only know what's off of the Parkway, AC Expressway, so they see the hecticness. Then they see North Jersey. We get all like the trash from New York and shit like that, so it's very industrious, But when you're on like the southeast side, beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people don't know that side.
Yeah. Did you go down to like the beach and stuff a lot?
Oh, Wildwood, New Jersey was like my home.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother lived there, so I got to spend a lot of time there every summer. And it was like a nice little getaway from all the busy kind of ghetto bullshit I grew up around.
Yeah. I know Wildwood, they host the Race of Gentlemen, and I'm sure there's probably plenty of other stuff they do too, but did that have any influence on you at all?
No, I was gone by the time that started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 41, so it was more like Thunder on the Sand and shit like that with monster trucks and dirt bikes back then, and you'd get like your hot rod weekends, your bike weeks. They were always around, but then like once I moved away, the coolest shit started.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like Trog kicked off, and it was like, dude, like that's the shit I'm into.
Yeah.
So, it was nice to have a drawback. Next thing you know, you're back in Wildwood, and you're a grown person in a hot rod, and you're like, holy shit, I'm one of them now.
Yeah.
And it's great because you spend all that time looking at that stuff like one day, and then boom, you're there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Life happens quick, so you got to pay attention and enjoy the ride, because that one day when you're standing there with the hot rod, you got to acknowledge how you got there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the fun part.
That's right. You had a Roadster for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, 31 Model A,
Hell yeah.
32 frame, stroker motor, the whole nine. It was fun. It was fun.
Did you ever take it back there and spectate the Race of Gentlemen on that?
I never took it out on the beach or anything like that. My car was a little too much of a hot rod, modern parts. I think they're a little more about originality.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I meant like spectating and just pulling up, and I'm sure there's car shows and stuff. I didn't know if you influenced any of that, but
I mean, you'd pull up to a hotel that was gridlocked. You know how Wawa gets here during, Hot
Crazy.
Rod weekend.
Yeah.
And then you find your parking spot and you're like, well, not only are you there for the day, you're stuck there because everyone jams you in, but it's the coolest parking lot to be stuck in. So you just roll with it and have fun.
Yeah, I never got to see your hot rod. I think I saw a picture. You had it when I met you, but I never got to see it in person. I think I saw you driving it or something. It was black or something.
Yeah, yeah, it was, flat black, cokers, the whole nine. Had that kind of cool proper stance to it. It didn't look too rat rodish. It didn't look too modern. It just looked right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I regret letting that thing go. But it's one of those things where you can only hold on to something for so long. It's like, I'm a builder. I like tinkering. I like messing around. Anything and everything. If it moves and I can do a wheelie or jump it, hold on. Yeah.
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
That's probably why we jive so much.
Yeah, I mean, I see all the projects you got going on, and it makes me get tickled. And then I'm like, shit, I've never done one of them. And then it's in, you plant the seed, and then I'm at home working on my Harley, thinking about a shifter cart again. And I'm like, I'm like, maybe a CR 500 motor this time would be pretty bitchin'.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly think I have more fun building the stuff than I do using it. That's what I've come to know.
Well, grown man puzzles. You know what I mean? Like, as a kid, we played with Legos. As adults, I'm putting a drag bike together. And then when you're done, you rip it a couple times, you're like, all right, what do I build next?
Yeah.
And that's why you sell a Model A. And then, when you sell it and it's gone, then you're like, shit, maybe I should have held on to that. But then you look at the projects you're building and you're like, you couldn't fund them without selling the one thing.
Yeah, and they take up space. That's the biggest thing is mass. It's real stuff.
Keeping batteries charged, everything running, and it turns into a project.
Yeah. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I've said about a year and a half ago that I wanted to thin some of the stuff I have. And I seem like I'm just adding to it, but
it does happen. It's like you'll sell a couple things off, and next thing you know, you're like, man, an RZR looks fun. And then it's like you sell 2 bikes and that takes up the same space. And then I'm like, well, shit, I'm right back to where I was.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, you're lifting this thing and putting tires on it. And it's just that excitement. If you keep that excitement going, then there's no better feeling.
Yeah. I look at the stuff we do is like we're enjoying the process of building it, but it's also creative.
Yeah.
Like you're looking at it we could look at the same piece, same tool, same motorcycle, and you have an artistic brain, and you have thoughts of things that you do to it, and then, mine might work in a completely opposite direction. I might make it into a lowrider, and you might make it into a wheelie bike or something, so
I mean, well, that's
it's
the
just
cool part about showing up to a car show. It's like you'll see 10 of the same car, but they're not the same.
Exactly.
You see those little things that are a little different. Then you go home and you're like, well, maybe I'll tweak mine like this. And,
it influences a lot.
It just starts adding to that spider web of ideas.
Yeah. Now, you're a tattoo artist.
I am a tattoo artist.
Yeah.
I grew up around it. My cousin Toby Nolte is my window, you know what I mean? Like, I watched that guy tattoo at 12 years old, kind of just taken back by it, like, what is this world I'm looking at, and it was so awesome because as I got older, I was able to like help out at the tattoo shop, start cleaning, shit like that. And then next thing you know, I was just like, this is it. Like, I don't care what it is, this is what I want to do. And even him, he was like, nah, man, like, go get a normal job. Like, go figure your life out, you know, because like back then it was sacred. You just didn't let anybody in. Nowadays it's, fuck, man, watch a few videos on YouTube and you're ordering some shit off eBay and you're scratching on your friends in a room.
Okay. I was thinking,
punk rock, I get it, dude. It's fun. It's, I was there as a kid myself. Like, I was like scared to ask, like, hey, teach me. I want to learn how to tattoo. So I did the same shit. I go on fucking the internet. This was like, internet was fresh back then. I'm kind of looking around and I'm like, ooh, I found something. And so I buy it. I tattoo a friend of mine, just like these kids are doing today. And I bring a picture in, printed out picture. I had to go get my shit developed. Take a photo to my cousin and I sent it to him. He's like, I ain't tattooing that stupid shit on you. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, actually, I did that. And he just walked away.
Really?
And I was like, oh shit, I'm about to get my ass kicked. Because this is his world and I just did it behind his back. I was so scared. Man, he came out and he was like, don't do that shit anymore. He was like, start hanging out here on this day and this day.
That's badass.
It's like, all right, man. I took it as my window.
How old were you?
Oh, man, I was when I pulled that shit off, I was probably like 18.
Okay.
You know, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
My memory and time frames.
It's all good. I just didn't know if like you were like, 22
no, I was young,
or whatever,
yeah, no, I was
14.
Young. You know, I still like did a few other jobs before like tattooing ever really took off for me, but like that's kind of where my interest really started.
Were you artistic like with growing up, with art and drawing
like I
and all
always
that?
dabbled, like art to me was the same as like building a motorcycle. It was like, I can put some nuts and bolts together and build this thing the way I wanted, or I can draw this picture the way I wanted. So it kind of went hand in hand. It was just depending on the day or like how I was feeling or what kind of mode I was in. Some days you wake up and you look at a motor like a project instead of fun. And you're like, I'm not doing that. And then I'm looking over here at an art project and I'm like, ooh, like I didn't realize this. I can tweak this corner like this. And next thing you know, it's boom, a week in a painting. And then you turn around and you just look at that bike again and you're like, man, if I angled that front end a little more. And then the painting doesn't get touched for 6 months because you're back in the garage working on the bike. But to me, I never looked at that like a bad thing. I always was just like, whatever I'm happy or whatever sparking my interest is where I'm going. Like I don't want my painting to start turning into a hated thing.
Right.
It's like once I start feeling a little like tired or tedious or like I'm done. Walking away from it for a little while.
Smart.
Walk back to it one day and then you might come at it like it's fresh.
Yeah. Then it feels like it's more fun than a job.
Yeah. And that's what tattooing always was for me. It was more of that like exciting world that I just had to be in. And the day I was able to really step in and get my foot in the door as a counter guy, I jumped all over it. Like I was helping out the tattoo shop and my cousin one day was just like, if you want this to happen, you're going to move down to Salisbury. I have a shop down there that needs help. He was like, that's your ticket. So you tell me. I need an answer by this weekend. And I'm like, holy shit, I got a fucking apartment. I got like 2 cars, a quad. I got all this shit. I'm like, how the hell am I just going to up and move? I don't have a truck. So in 1 week, I just sold everything.
Really?
Sold a Mustang I had, a little drag car. I sold a Banshee race quad I had. I was like, let me just get as much money as I can before I go making pennies. You know what I mean? But I wasn't making pennies. I'm learning a craft. But right. I knew in the very beginning, it's just like any apprenticeship. Like, it's going to be tight. So let me get my pennies like as much as I can. And I remember I sold everything. I went right to my cousin and I was like, hey, hold this cash for me. I was like, because I'm going to need this little by little. And then I just packed my car with what I had and I came down to Salisbury.
Damn.
And that's really where my career started and took off.
That's badass.
Because that's when it was like 100% tattoo shop and nothing else.
Yeah. So you moved from Jersey to here to be a tattoo artist.
Yeah,
that's
to
badass,
really just take
dude.
It serious.
Hell yeah.
To really be like, well, if this is a step I need to do to have a everyday job at a tattoo shop, then it's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And now, were you the counter guy there for a while?
I was the counter guy there for a while. I was the body piercer there for a while.
Okay.
Stepped into tattooing there.
So there's a whole lot of roles that the counter guy has.
I grew up in a tattoo shop, like in every aspect.
Okay.
Like I grew up as an adult. Like I learned how to be a person. Like I learned how to talk to people. It was just like everything. So tattooing kind of set me on a path where it was like I could be in a store and just be like, hey buddy, how's it going? And just talk to a random person because like you do it every day. Mm-hmm. And that was like, man, this is like the best part about this job is it's like opening me up to just be able to be a person. Mm-hmm. First, just being this quiet person and just going through life every day. And next thing you know, you have dreams. Like, I don't want dreams. I want goals. You know what I mean? I want to be able to accomplish things. So like to accomplish things, if I find something interesting, I'm going to be like, hey man, what's going on? You do this for a living? Like, what's this all about? And then I get the insight from the guy. And then instead of going home being like, I wonder what that's like. Like, nah, man, you got to ask questions. Questions are the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think it's badass just listening to you tell me about your story. I ask tons of questions, dude, so I love it, man. I'm always asking, random people. I'll see somebody that's in good shape, and I'm like, dude, what's your secret, man? Right. You're 70, dude, and you're on a boat out here, and you're reeling in fish or something, and I'm like, what can I benefit from you, man?
You see the go-getter.
Oh, yeah.
The go-getter, you're like, man, this guy set goals.
Oh, yeah, dude. Like, it don't happen by accident.
That motherfucker wasn't dreaming.
Yeah.
He had goals, and he was checking them. He was just like, cool. Physical fit.
Done. Yeah. I just think that's killer. Not even on the fitness thing, but everything. I think it's killer to talk to people. And I know you talk to pilots. And next thing you know, you're in a freaking plane, dude.
Yeah, man. I'd like this guy, tattoo. He comes in, And a total guy you would not expect to even have a tattoo, nor get his first tattoo at that age. And as I'm tattooing him, he's like, you know what you're tattooing on me? That's mine.
Oh, really?
It's like, all right, that's cool, man. He was like, no, I own a plane. That's my plane you're tattooing on me. And I'm like, well, that's rad, man.
Hell yeah.
You want to go for a ride? I was in the air the next day.
I know,
like,
dude. You texted me that day. You're
yeah,
like, dude, I'm
like,
going on a plane with this guy.
yeah, it was like random as hell. But what I loved about it is like, as I'm tattooing him, he's asking me all about me and my career. And then it was like, here's my passion. Let me share it with you. And then he's like, let me show you my passion.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun to me. I got to see him set up the plane, get everything ready, which, I'm used to dirt bikes. I kick and go.
Yeah.
This guy's like, all right, hold on. We got a checklist. We got to be safe. And I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
airplane. All
a little
right.
more stakes on the line.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
But then I
killer.
got to see his whole thing. We get in the air. He, flies me over to tattoo shop. He's like, that's where you work. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. Got an aerial photo. But
That's killer, man.
yeah, but it's like, I find everybody's career interesting. So when I'm tattooing, like, the guys I work with will tell you I don't shut up. Like, I talk. Like,
Yeah.
talking's my favorite thing. Like, and when you're sitting there in pain, you want me to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Get your mind off it. Like, chat.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than sitting there and somebody's just not saying a word to you, and you're in your head like, all right, this shit fucking sucks. It hurts, and what am I going to think about? And it's like you're in your own battle with trying to keep your mind off it. Versus me being like, so what do you do for a living, man? Where are you from? Like,
Yeah.
next thing you know, we're in a full-blown conversation. I'm wiping you down. Say, check it out.
That's badass.
And half the time they're like, what the hell, you're done? I'm like, yeah, man. They're like, oh, that was great. And I'm like, awesome. And then the next person comes in, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I'll have the same conversation, because it just starts telling them about me again.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, man, these guys have heard this story 5,000 times. I'm like, my bad. But my customers are happy.
Right.
You
That's
know
all
what
that
I mean?
matters.
And
You only
that's
see them once.
Exactly. And then, where we live, seasonal, I get people that come the same week every year during the summer, and it's like one of their stops now.
Really?
Yeah, they come in, they love the shop. It's fun. Like, all of us, we tease, we haze, we get hazed by customers, and I love it. And I'm like, we're cracking up in there, and they're leaving. There's like, we'll be back next year. Like, this is a blast.
That's badass.
So it's like going to Jolly Rogers. They're coming to Right Coast. They're like, oh, check. Here's all of our stops. And I love that.
Dude, I didn't even think about it like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, and the first, years, it was just swinging the door, which it still is. We do walk-ins every day. But then it turns into, like, you look up and you see someone, and I can tell you what month it is and what week.
Oh, it's a
they're-
reminder.
Yeah, and I look up and I'm like, oh, shit, we're mid-August. I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
And I love it. Like, Jeep Week, we get the same group. Like, Bike Week, we get similar groups that come in, and they'll be bringing their friends in. And it's like, it's a never-ending roller coaster, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, the beach is a different animal.
I forget so many times that we live in an area like that we have so many people that flock here, and it supports so many other industries.
I
That's
mean,
killer.
it always cracks me up when you have some locals that don't work with the tourists, I guess, and they'll be like, oh, these tourists are here. And I'm like, dude, buddy, this is why your town's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you got to have these tourists. We want these tourists. But for most of the people I know, we all love it. Every weekend it's a little something different. You get Jeep Week, Bike Week, Hot Rod Weekend, I mean, dude,
Yeah.
it just goes on and on and on. Now we got the concerts going on.
Oh, yeah.
The concerts are wild. It's like now we're getting more into the off season because they're starting these concerts up like October, November and stuff. Like, hey, let's go year round. I'm into it.
Yeah, and I guess that those people even might be more interested in tattoos than.
I mean, it might be, we might end up
They're-
being one of their stops.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Well,
man,
I mean-
the concert's not till tomorrow. We're done with the people we wanted to see today. Let's hit the town. Next thing you know, I got concert regulars.
Yeah, I think about it like music is an art form, and
Yeah.
those people are flocking to that type of thing. So it's like it's not out of the question to go get a tattoo that you're gonna be able to look at, or they might check out the art gallery too. I'm just saying, like, not so much art with paintings and things, but like that's what you're doing. So in that aspect, it's like they're. I'm a gearhead, so I only think about like motors and sports, and not sports, but like motorsports and things like that, and how things work. That's how my brain works. I don't even think about tattoos or art or anything. But when I think about like a motorcycle, I'm sitting there looking at it and I'm drawn to it, and I'm like, man, the paint on this thing with the pinstriping and the airbrushing, and I'm like, dude, a freaking artist.
You start seeing
know
the
what I
little
mean?
details.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, but it's also somebody's creative thoughts that's what they wanted, so they did it, or they told the painter, some people can't paint. I mean, I can't tattoo or I can't paint, but I can powder coat. But, they get the guy that has the bike with his vision. And I assume that's probably how tattoos are. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, I have this vision, or maybe they don't. I don't know how it works, but it's an art form. I guess is my point. So
Yeah, I mean, dude, I walk in here and I see that rock crawler you built. And I look at that like one of the best paintings I've ever seen, because I'm like, oh, like it's every detail in every corner.
Yeah.
Which is like, when you look at a painting, it's every detail in every corner matters.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have, oh, a shitty fucking Jeep you just put a lift kit on and some tires. Like, I'm underneath that thing like, oh my God. I'm like, he's welding tabs on this for support here and over. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah, it's a different type of art form.
Yeah, you just look at it like a painting.
I know. I just forget though sometimes that like that's what I'm doing. I guess I just get so into the welding and stuff that it seems too manly to be art. Not manly, but like it's like art doesn't seem like the right word, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But then I take a step back, and it is. It's my vision of what I wanted and what I saw in my head that came out in that form. So
well, I mean, art to me is anything pleasing to the eye. You know what I mean? So whether I'm looking at something on canvas or I'm looking at something that is built by hand, like whether it's a statue or a drag car, like they're all beautiful. You know what I mean? And when they're not beautiful, because you'll look at it and go, something's not right. Because your brain just doesn't see smoothness. It just sees clunkiness. When I look at a drag car, I'm like, I want to see that streamlined look. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like it's already going fucking fast.
Yeah. I agree,
like,
dude.
you show up and you got this, like, rusty out Nova. And I'm not saying it can't be fast, but it just doesn't have that look. So you wouldn't expect it to be. When you look at something, you want to see what it almost can do.
Yeah. No, I agree. And some of those are the most humbling ones too,
Yeah.
those sleepers. But yeah, it comes in all forms, man. And even like that deer mount right there, it's an art form. It's just I don't think about it in that way, Like a tattoo to me, average guy, I was like, it is art, and they are cool, but it's like I don't know, like it's not something I think about on a daily basis. When I think of art, I think like art class in third grade. I don't know. It seems silly, but that's just how my brain
most
processes
people, that's
it.
the only time they ever mess with art.
Yeah.
It'll be like middle school, and then, once art class is done and you're in high school, like they never do it again.
Yeah. True. Right.
You get some people that, like, what you do, you build with your hands. Like, that is art. You just don't do it on paper in middle school anymore. You're like, oh no, I learned these certain skills through the chapters of my life. Now I'm going to apply all of them into this one thing. And you can tell, you know what I mean? You can tell when you were paying attention, learning how to weld, or paying attention, learning how to paint. Like, you can see the attention in the details.
Yeah.
Like with tattoos, like for me, my favorite thing in tattooing is when somebody comes to me and they're like, this is what I'm thinking, because now I have to try to conquer their dream and their painting. It ain't about what I can create and what I can paint. It's about, can I paint their image? And I love that, because when I hit that mark and they look in that mirror and they go, holy shit, this is awesome. I'm like, I nailed it. Like, I got it. And that's hard to do. Like, it's like building a motorcycle for a random person. And they send you the pictures, and at first you're like, ooh, you're like, this isn't really my taste. But it ain't about my taste.
Right.
It's about what they want. And as a tattooer, like, there's tattooers out there that they don't give a shit about what you want. They're just like, man, I want to do something rad, and this is what I do. And that's awesome.
Do you think that there's a that is a need though for some people out there that need that push or whatever, that maybe they're not as artistic maybe?
Well, it's just a different skill.
Yeah.
Like, I look at the guys that do like a full-blown back piece and it's all they want to do. That's a whole different animal, and it's amazing what they can pull off. And then they might step into my world as a street tattooer, where like the swing of the door, fast volume, and they get overwhelmed, and they're just like, oh, I don't know how the fuck you guys do this. And it's like, well, this is my skill. You know what I mean? And then I turn into do a back piece. Not that I can't do it, but it's like takes me a few extra steps because I need to double check everything I'm doing. Where to them, they're like, man, do it. And I'm like, I'm working on it. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at them in the same way when I'm like, dude, all they want is a script name. Just draw it and do it. And they're in the back like, they're struggling to get a name down. And I'm like, because they're used to drawing large imagery things.
That makes sense.
But it's still like, that's your strong point. This is my strong point. We're all strong. We're all doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I look at what they do and I'm like, that's what I want to do. But I start to do it, and I'm like, all right, this isn't what I'm really good at. What I'm really good at is that fast pace, like, and I'm not saying I've rushed through tattoos, but like the swing of the door.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd like to do 10 tattoos a day versus one. You know,
Yeah.
once in a blue moon, every now and then, I'm like, let me do that sleeve. Like, I'm itching for it.
Yeah.
And I'll sit down, but being at the beach, we don't really get the opportunity to go slow. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because we are a tourist town.
Yeah, and
We
they're
got
chop
people that are
chop.
flying here. You know what I mean? And they want in, they want out because they got dinner coming up. And
Yeah.
then after dinner, they got the boardwalk. So instead of getting frustrated, being like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right, here's your options. If you need to get out by an hour and a half, I can do X, Y, and Z for you. But you're not going to get all this because that's an appointment I need 4 hours for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
I never thought about it like that. So there's different lanes of tattoo artists.
Oh, 100%. Wow. Just if you look at like painters, right?
Yeah.
Like there's people that will do, I guess, more insurance jobs.
Oh, yeah.
They'll do your stock paint color. You know, I'm not saying that shit's easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went to school for auto body, you know, Votech. And matching paint codes can be a bitch, you know. Sunlight hits it and it's a little off. You're like, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's the other guy that is like, you know, my buddy Tukey, who paints drag cars. And those things are bananas. You know what I mean? You look at them and you're like, holy shit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much detail in this.
Yeah.
So there's different lanes in almost everything.
Totally right, man. I think so close-minded.
Yeah.
It's also not something I think about all the time either, you know. But I just forget that there's probably people that specialize in every avenue, every skill, you know.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So
And then, you know, like one of my things nowadays is like keeping myself healthy enough to keep doing it. Because it's like, as we get older, putting motors and bikes and all that shit, I'm like, oh my God, my back hurts. Like, oh, it's slowing me down. And then it's like, all right, time for a personal trainer. You know what I mean? Or like time to start eating better. And then I'm putting motors and bikes a little faster again. And I'm like, all right, I feel normal again. So it's like, I think as you get a little older and whatever skill you're doing, like you got to start taking care of yourself so you can keep furthering that skill.
Oh, yeah.
Once you start to get too much of a belly or you start fucking feeling a little lazy, then it shows. You know what I mean?
dude,
You're
100%.
like, yeah, you'll be looking at something somebody painted and you're like, that doesn't look like, you know, you really could reach the clear on the top of that hood.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
your belly got in the way, my man.
That's funny. It's funny. We almost got into I don't know when you got into it, but it was funny. We crossed paths in the fitness world.
Yeah.
And it was just so funny.
After knowing each other. It was just
yeah,
like
we knew each other.
walking into the gym, you're walking out, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's up, man?
Yeah. It was funny though. Like you had like a hoodie on and a hat or something, and I was like, "Damn, Jeff, is that you?" You're like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" Yeah, dude. That's funny.
What, that was probably like, what, a year and a half ago?
Yeah,
2
probably.
years ago now?
Yeah, I started getting pretty heavy into it, but probably about the same time you did, and accidentally. But I'm glad I did it. So I feel
same.
I'm sure you look great, and I feel
It's like a skill you have to build. Like, it's like you go to the bar, you can't have 10 beers. You're going to be fucking throwing up everywhere. You're going to have one beer and sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Gym's the same way. I mean, that was like a hard lesson for me. I walked in there thinking I was 19, and the next thing you know, I was like, oh, shit, I got a long way to go.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, working out with our friend Greta now for freaking a year and a half, maybe a little longer, it's like, dude, I'm in there. I just squatted 370 the other day, and I was feeling, like, I was like driving home, like, holy shit, man. I was like, that's more than I could do when I was in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm on the up and up.
Yeah.
And I think age at this point, I'm like, I'm not even thinking about age. It's just how I feel when I get out of bed.
Yeah.
Is my back hurting? You know what I mean? Am I going to be able to charge today? Like, because if I can't charge the day, then what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I think about it like we're only going to be getting older, and it's only going to be getting harder.
yeah.
So, I don't know. I was getting like a beer gut, and I was like, maybe I'll just do a little bit to get rid of the beer gut. But my goal was always to drink as much beer as possible. That was never not on the table. So lose the beer gut with still drinking, and then like slowly I was like, well, it's getting easier. I'm losing the weight, or losing the gut. I'm like, well, what if I just quit drinking as much? It was like accidentally for me. It was just kind of crazy, but
No, I mean,
everything compounded.
I think that's a natural thing. It's like
one thing compounds the next. Next thing you know, you're like, damn, I didn't want any of this stuff,
you get
but
a
here
little
I
bit of
am.
a good feeling, and you want another good feeling, another good feeling, and that's the direction of the good feelings is like eating better or freaking not drinking as much. And
Yeah, and you start to know your body too, and like feeling good. Did you ever drink a bunch of beer, or like did you?
No,
Were you
I was a whiskey drinker when I
okay?
was younger, so I was more the extreme drink until I turned into an asshole.
Okay.
So I just was like, all right, I can't be doing this.
Okay.
So it was like once a month, and then after like I think 21, 22, 23, I was like, all right, I'm done with this shit. I was like, I'm either going to have a DUI or just nothing good's going to come of this. So,
Well, at least you saw it soon, like early.
yeah. Well,
Man.
also like waking up early and being like, I got to get to my demolition job and I'm hungover. I feel like shit. And now I got to go do blowtorching all day. I was like, this sucks.
Oh yeah.
So then you wake up after not drinking one day and you're like, all right, this still fucking sucks, but it's not as bad. And then like by 8 o'clock, I got a little pep in my step.
Mm-hmm.
But no. It'd be noon and lunch. I'm like, oh fuck,
Dude.
when's this day gonna end?
It took me forever to realize that you don't have to be hungover every day.
Yeah.
I lived like that for years, for real.
Well, I mean, like for me, it was like I realized one day it wasn't that important to go be that social every night. I'm like, I don't have to show my face every night.
Yeah.
I'm like, these people ain't paying my bills or making me feel better.
It's kind of silly when I
like,
look back on it.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm friends with all of them, and I enjoy seeing everybody, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to cuddle it a little early. I'm going to go home and get some sleep, because tomorrow I want it to be a good day and not like, oh, shit. And then next thing you know, I'm at the bar that night. And then I'm drinking again, and I'm like, I feel better, you know? And then the next morning, you're like, here we go again.
Yeah, it's that never-ending cycle, man.
I don't miss it. Especially, like, trying to learn how to just tattoo. It was like, can't be hungover, shaky hand, and all that stuff. Like, it's hard enough as it is to tattoo.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be all, like, dehydrated and shaky.
Uh-huh.
No. Like, and the guys that can do it, good on you, because I can't do it.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, you wake up and you know the feeling of being hungover.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to
Barely
be able
able
to
to move.
draw something with a steady hand.
Mm-hmm.
And then your customer's not really sitting still, or they're not feeling too hot, and then you're not feeling good on top of that. It's just a bad scenario, you know? And also, like, when you're doing something permanent on somebody, like, you want to show up looking good.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're a little nervous. They don't want to look at their guy like, oh, he looked like he was on a bender. And you're all sweaty, like, all right, let me set up. And they're like, great. And like, you know, I walk in, I'm like, you want water or something? They're like, what, this guy just work out? I'm like, I did actually. And I'm ready to tattoo you. And it, you know, it puts them in a little more of a trusting mood.
Yeah. That's badass. I've seen you guys do complete group workouts, too.
Oh, yeah.
Your whole tattoo studio does it.
I'm a little guilty of not joining those the past couple times, but normally we'll do a beach workout on Tuesdays. And, you know, being in the sunlight, on the sand, it's a nice thing.
Hell
it's
yeah.
a really nice thing. And when you get to the shop, you know, we have a little shower out back. We clean up. The day starts, and then everyone's just in a better mood. You know, there's just something about starting a workout, getting through it. It's that I accomplished this goal before my day even started.
100%.
You know what I mean? And then you're just like, man, I already won.
Right.
I already won because I feel great.
Yeah.
And then no matter what happens today, it's just going to be a whatever day. You could put me in a shit mood later in the day, and I'm still going to be like, it wasn't a bad day because it started off good.
Yeah.
But normally, if it starts off good, it stays good. So those morning workouts are pretty key. So I do them at home regularly. Like, if I'm not with Greta on Mondays, I do normally like, I do my 100 is what I call it. Like, it's 100 of anything. Just wake up and do something. You know what I mean? It could be 10 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, you know, jump rope, whatever.
Okay.
Just do 100. And it's easy for anybody to do. And then the next thing you know, like, your morning's quick. You're in the shower, you're out of the shower, in your car, you're driving. You're like, oh, shit, man, day's rolling already.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just, you wake up, you get your shower, you get dressed. Like, you're already starting off slow. You know what I mean? So I like that morning, get my heart going in my garage. And then I started doing this thing where, like, if I hit snooze, that's 10 push-up penalty. So every time I hit snooze, it's 10 push-ups.
Damn.
That gets your ass out of bed.
I bet. Like, that's a good rule.
Dude, that'll get your ass out of bed. Because you'll wake up and you feel a little like, just give me 10 more minutes. No.
That's a good rule.
No, that's 20 push-ups. You know what I mean? Like, my snooze is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So if I want 10 more minutes, that's 20 push-ups. Now, it doesn't sound terrible, but I'm going to do that on top of my 100.
That's badass.
But it gets you up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to penalize yourself. Now, accountability is a whole different story, like, if you're able to do that. Because, like, one day I woke up and I was like, oh, my day's running behind, man. And I started feeling guilty about it. So the next day I was like, all right, man, I'll put this rule on myself and see if I can, like, really challenge myself to make it, hold myself accountable to do it.
Yeah.
And the next day I was like, yeah, I'll hit snooze, whatever. And then that extra 10 push-ups on top of the 100 of everything, I was like, oh shit, don't do that tomorrow.
Next
I was
time
like,
I won't do
just 10 more reps kind of just like wears you out a little bit.
Yeah.
So then the next day your alarm goes off and you're like, all right, get up. Like it's a good rule to have.
Yeah, you're creating discipline.
Yeah.
That's badass. I'm gonna have to start adopting that.
That's not a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can do it to anything, too, in your life. It doesn't have to just be waking up late. It can just be, like, a self-penalty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually pretty good about it lately. The past, I don't know, 8 months or so, I'm not that I was ever bad at it, but like every now and then,
bro,
10 minutes or so.
in a podcast studio that you built. And I'm looking around and I'm like, I don't see anything lazy about you whatsoever.
Well, I had
if you're penalizing yourself, calm down.
Yeah. No, my penalty is waking up. I do freaking get in the cold plunge every day.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
I have not done that in a while.
That's a hard one. I started doing it probably 3 years ago. And
every day?
Every day.
Yeah, we have one at the shop. I think we had one day where we put a shit ton of ice in it. We all did it, and that was the last time I think we did it.
It's rough.
It's rough.
Yeah, I got a chiller on mine. I actually took a Grizzly cooler. It's like a big 450 quart cooler. I had just a trough at first, like what you guys probably did. And then I used ice for a long time, and I was like, well, I'm doing it, it's sticking. Anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing it every day. That's a lot of ice.
Yeah. It was, yeah. So, I got a chiller for it, and then that kind of
makes it easier.
Yeah, then I wanted a cooler to keep it cool, like most of the day, so now it runs less and all that. So,
are you doing like a warm cycle as well?
No, I just get in it right out of bed.
Right out of bed.
Right out of bed, dude. 5 o'clock.
No, that's
in the cold
that's
plunge.
A discipline.
Oh yeah.
God.
So that was what I was going to say. Is I didn't realize it would create discipline. So when you can get your mind wrapped around getting in there. At first, I was just doing it for like the belly fat, putting yourself in that mild state of hypothermia.
Yeah,
that's what I thought I was doing. Next thing you know, I'm out there. It's 30 degrees outside with snow, and I'm like, "Am I really doing this?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, get your ass in there."
Yeah, you're like,
get your ass in there.
You're standing in front of it.
100%. So I didn't know that it would be a discipline thing for me, you know, and it's kind of compounded with everything. It's like, well, if I can do that, I can tell myself no to the yogurt, not yogurt, but like bread or whatever the heck I don't want to do, or beer or whatever it is. And I'm like, no, I don't want that. Before I'd be like, I don't want it, but I'm kind of like, I'll have it, you know?
Yeah.
This way I'm like, no, I literally have control over my brain. Like sometimes it tries, like I don't know what it is in your brain, but like you have the little angel over here and little devil over here. It's like, no. I always side with the right thing, you know, or whatever I want to do is what I do.
Oh, we all have the devil thoughts.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
they're whispering.
I know, but it's solidified. No negotiating. I'm doing this, and there's no other way. It's law.
No.
As
I
soon
love
as
that.
Yeah, it was accidental. I didn't know that.
I think that's harder than the fucking 100. You know what I mean? I'm waking up thinking, I got to do 100 or something. What are you doing? 2 minutes?
No, I do 5.
5?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. No way.
Dude, this morning
No way.
I was sitting there, and what I try to do, you know, like when you plank, you don't want to look at the timer, right?
Yeah.
Right. Next thing you know, it's a minute or a minute and a half or whatever. This morning I was sitting in it, and I'm like, all right, it's probably been like 3 minutes. I'm just going to keep chooching it, you know? Next thing you know, I was like, you know what? I better look. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. I was like, damn,
that's
dude.
insane.
Yeah.
I think when I did it, it was full of ice. I jumped in. Everything in my brain was like, dude, get out.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it took the breath out of me. If it wasn't for my boy Seth standing there doing breathe. He was like coaching me through it. And then after the first minute learning how to breathe in those conditions, I was like, all right, I can hit 3 minutes. But after 3 minutes, I was like, there's no way.
3 minutes is rough.
That's
rough. Probably colder than mine. Mine's probably...
It was so rough, I never did it again.
Yeah, mine's probably... So my display recently went out on mine, so I hardwired it. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a display. I just run it on a timer that's connected to the outlet.
Dip the finger test.
It's cold as shit. It's last time I checked it, it was 42. So I don't know. Some of them are even colder in the 30s. But 42, say it's 45. I'm cool with that. So I can't sit there and be like, oh, yeah, it's 31 or 30 degrees or 32, whatever. But, yeah, I started doing I did it for the belly fat thing. I thought that would really help. But, anyhow, I'm happy with it.
My diet's been more anything from my belly fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I started not eating like a straight jerk off, it was like, man, I'm getting skinny all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, I'm a milk drinker. I drink a half gallon of milk a day.
Really?
Every day. I drink a gallon if it wasn't for my wife.
That's good though. It doesn't have
Dude.
tons of vitamin C.
I mean, if you, I guess, have a glass, but
Yeah.
like I'm drinking a gallon, and like she's looking at me like, all right, you just drank a gallon of fucking milk. What the hell? And she's like, what'd you eat with it? Because I'm like, yeah, I had some Oreos, and some shit, you know?
Yeah.
And she's like, damn, man.
Slippery
Like,
slope.
but then the next day I'm out working out, and you feel it. You know what I mean? You know when you got shit gas in you, and you're just working out, and you're like, I feel like death right now. This sucks.
Yeah.
But then next thing you know, you're a little snack at night. You know, like that's my guilty pleasure right there.
Oh yeah.
So
It's
definitely
easy.
the gut,
Yeah. You need a cold plunge, dude.
dude. I don't know. I've done it. It's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough.
The only thing I don't do is I don't dip my head in. So I don't.
I didn't even know that was a thing. No.
What, to dip it in?
I
Dip
ain't
your head
dipping
in?
my head in.
Yeah,
No
some
way.
people do. There's lots of different ways to do it. I was just going to do a disclaimer. That's one thing I don't do.
Yeah.
I just recently, for the longest time, my hands are so big that like I think blood flow or something isn't really their forte. So for the longest time, it took me forever to get them in the water. I would just do it with them out, like my fingertips, and I slowly started getting them like, all right, if I can do them in for a minute, you know, and I'll warm them back up.
Mm-hmm.
I've just now got them to the point where I can do the full 5 with them in. So I'm slowly training myself.
I don't know. Maybe I have to come over here and try your trick.
Dude, try it out, man. Yeah, try it out.
Because like I wonder if there's a difference between sitting in a freaking tub full of ice cubes or just
Probably.
cold water.
Probably.
Because the ice cubes, you feel that sloshing around. You're like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably terrible either way.
Yeah, it is. I just get in and I try to think about something, and then I just focus on that. And
But that like you were saying earlier, that like that is your discipline, right?
oh yeah,
Because if you got to do something and think of something else, you're training. You know what I mean? You're training discipline right there.
yeah. But it goes with everything though. Like if I'm like doing something, it could be a plank or it could be mowing the grass or picking up trash around the house. It's like I see something, and then you know you have the decision whether you're gonna do it or not. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pick the hard thing to do versus that easy thing that might be over here, or not picking the trash up. It's a baseball diamond. It's like, no, I'm gonna pick it up. You know, I don't know. Just for me, I'm
Well,
weird.
like
but,
you were just saying about the whole cutting the grass thing, right? Like, I love cutting grass. It's like my getting a haircut from my house. It's my zen moment. I like making my shit look good myself. You know what I mean? I can hire somebody to come do that, and they'll get it done, and it'll give me that extra maybe hour and a half that day to go do something else. But then I'm not getting my reward. I want my reward of being like, look what I just did. You know?
yeah.
I just polished that thing. I washed my truck. Like,
yeah. You know, I saw this mindset. Not to cut you off, but this is gonna ring true with you, I bet. It was this thing, actually my buddy Ryan posted on a story, and it hit me right in the gut. It said, I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like it's a pleasure to mow my grass, you know, or I think of it as a chore. And it's like, well, I'm happy to have the land to do it, you know, like just like you do. It's like,
yeah.
it's an honor to mow my grass.
Yeah.
If you think about it like that, it's like, you know, I don't know. I just thought that was a interesting way to look at it. It's an honor to do the hard things.
You worked hard.
Yeah. Or it's an honor to do something that's part of your daily life that like you worked for it, you know?
Yeah. Now that's what I was getting ready to say. Like you worked hard for that yard. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Get your feet in it. Cut the grass. Weed whack it.
We
like,
forget though. We think of it as it's just work, or like, oh, I gotta vacuum my carpet, or like I gotta do the spring cleaning in the garage. You know what I mean? It's like I'm honored to do that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be my mindset going forward.
I mean, my father raised me literally everything longevity. He was like, take care of it.
Yeah.
It'll take care of you. He was like, get the longevity out of it. He was like, you treat your car like shit, it's gonna treat you like shit. It's gonna break down on you. You're gonna have problems. Or it's like, clean that thing, man. And then when you get in it, you're like, oh, this is my car. It feels good to be in this. You pick up a girl in it. She's going to be like, oh, this is a nice car. Not like, oh, shit. All right. Like, dude's kind of a scumbag.
Trash everywhere.
Yeah, like treat your shit like how you want to feel, you know? Like when I get in my car, I want it to feel like, oh, I work hard in life. Now I feel comfortable inside my car because it looks good.
I'm that same way my whole life.
Yeah.
Also, there's a sense of pride too. You know, like you did it, you took care of it, you or looking at it for you, or you're like you even just you looking in there and not seeing it all trashed up. It's like I'm happy to see my or whatever, my car nice and clean. It's a sense of satisfaction, I guess.
Well, for me, it's a mood enhancement. Like,
right.
Like I will get in my car 8 o'clock in the morning and I feel better. I'm like, oh man, this thing's clean. It smells good.
Dude,
like
that is something. It has to be our personalities.
Yeah.
Some people have that. Some people don't.
Well, it's like it's my self-reward. It's like when you clean your car, like I'm not doing it for anybody else.
But
like,
yourself.
Yeah, when I get in my car, I want it to just feel like, oh man, I worked hard for this car and it still feels good to be in.
Yeah.
You know, some people are like, oh, I've had that piece of shit for like 5 years. And I'm like, dude, I drive a 2013 4Runner that some people are like, how old's that? And I'm like, oh, it's 2013. They're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I wax it and shit, man. Like, yeah, it looks good because I take care of it. It's got over 200,000 miles on it because I take care. Well, it's Toyota too, and I take care of it.
Don't look at the frame.
I know, right? Oh, man, that's a nightmare story for me.
I'm only kidding.
No, I mean, like, I had a good buddy of mine who's literally his frame rotted out of his truck, and they got the recall. And then next thing you know, like, Toyota did it right. They took the truck and they put a new frame under it.
I know.
You know what I mean? But they had his truck for like 8 months.
Yeah.
He had a shitty little lender. And it was loaner. It was a bummer. And I felt bad for him. But he got his truck back and I was like, well, that's rad. I'm like, you got a brand new frame. I was like, your truck's like, it's like getting a new back in your 50s.
Right. How cool would that be?
So, yeah. But I was a bum out.
Yeah. No, I'm something with my brain is the same thing with yours. It's a sense of, like one of my favorite things to do is mow where my foam targets are, and I'm like, when I mow it and I weed eat it and it looks good, I'm like, there's something to that. I don't know what it is, but it's like it's a OCD thing or sense of satisfaction. It's like it makes my heart so happy. I don't know what it is.
So, I hate the term OCD.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so I try hard in life and I want everything to be clean and organized because it makes me feel good that somebody who's not clean and organized is going to title me as OCD.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I hear that. And I'm just kind of like, I look over and I'm like, what do you call me OCD for? I'm like, I look over at their car since we're talking about that. And I'll be looking inside and I'm like, yeah, maybe try being a little OCD. You might feel a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it probably is something along those lines of where we're just being normal people, I guess. And
I mean, I think like OCD is real for some people out there, but I think it's a very loose term used. Yeah. Like, for me, it's just being happy with what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, call it OCD, call it whatever. It's just like, whatever I'm doing, I'm just going to try to do it to 100%.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm definitely going to start thinking along those lines, though, of I'm blessed to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
You know, like where you can get so caught up in your day-to-day stuff and like, man, I got to go do this and do that. It's a chore. But like somebody somewhere would love to be doing that.
Yeah.
And there was a version of yourself 6 or 8 months or whatever years ago that wanted to be right where you're at, and you forget. You just keep moving the line further and further along. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Oh, I mean, there's been times in tattooing now, I've been doing it for so long, where it's like, there's days I'll wake up and I'm like, oh, here we go again. And then I kind of catch myself and I'm like, whoa, you love this. And I'm like, what's the matter? And then you try to just like ask yourself a few questions, like, are you just tired? Like, but don't take it out on tattooing. Like, you love this. And I want to keep that attitude. So I try not to use in any way when I'm in a bad mood or something, like I try not to put it on tattooing to where it's like and what I mean by that is like when I show up to work, I want to be 100%. I don't want to show up in a shit mood being like, which I'm guilty of, we all are. But I show up and I'm like, all right, these people need me to be kind of like a little chipper and like, and then it makes for better work. So I want to make sure I'm showing up with that attitude. Yeah,
that's good outlook. Yeah. So you started as a counter guy and in Salisbury. And then what is the counter guy in charge of? Are they doing, like, is that the customer's first point of contact where they come in there and they're like,
good
hey.
Counter guys, you're in charge of everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you are just keeping the wheel greased.
Okay.
And it's like, by doing that, you learn so much. So many people out there, they look at like, oh, so I want to learn how to tattoo, but they just want me to be their bitch. And it's like, well, yeah, in a sense, but like, you're not seeing the big picture. Like, you're going to come in and be our bitch, but by being our bitch, you're going to learn so much.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to learn how to talk to people. Like I was saying earlier, like I grew up in a tattoo shop. I showed up and I was like, I know how to clean. And they were like, no, you don't. This is how you properly clean a thing. Or this is how you do that. And then you're like, oh, well, I don't really know how your business runs, so I have to learn that. And
here, bring your mic up a little bit. That sounded way better. Yeah.
A little bit there.
Mm-hmm.
So with being a counter guy, like, I forgot what we were talking about for a second.
Oh, they had to be your bitch for a while.
Yeah,
to appreciate.
And then next thing you know, you're like, you don't feel like a bitch anymore. You feel like one of the guys because you know what you're doing.
Part of it.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like the counter guy, it's like I'm literally discussing everything with customers as much as I can and then taking it to the artist. Being like, hey, this is what they want, blah, 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 blah. They're going to start working on that. But in the meantime, if there's lettering, I got to do lettering contracts. I got to fill out paperwork. I got to make sure I'm doing my end up front to keep them tattooing. And then it's like supplies and then paperwork. You know, it's like, I don't want to talk about too much because I'm one of those kind of people where I don't like putting my industry out there so cool. Much. But
it's interesting to learn
there's certain like responsibilities in there that you'll start to learn as a counter guy that relate to you becoming a tattooer. Mm-hmm. And the people that come in, they're like, well, I just don't want to have to come in here and clean. That already tells me you're not going to put 100% into any aspect of this because you're already kind of pulling back in the cleaning aspect. We're like, that's your brain? Like my brain was, oh shit, I'm allowed in the door every day. What do I got to clean?
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't even think of it as like a bad thing. I thought it was whatever. Yeah, I'm eventually not going to clean. I'm eventually going to step into something else. So I've watched a few guys really go through it and really fucking conquer it. And then I've watched some people that get in it and they're just like, not for me.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, man, like life's not going to be handed to you, dude.
Well, that's kind of nice though. It weeds them out.
Weed them out. Yeah.
They didn't really want to tattoo.
No.
You know what I mean? That's a rite of passage.
And with today's kids and stuff, like, man, the hard work thing, there's the winners out there, you know what I mean? But I feel like they're getting smaller by the day. These kids just want to be, you know, known on fucking Instagram, and they don't want to be known in their town.
Yeah.
Like, I want my neighbors and my community to be like, nah, like, this is the tattoo shop. These are the guys. Like, we can trust them. Instead of, like, some person in California being like, oh, I love your photo. You're awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Thanks for acknowledging me. But in no way are you paying my bills or anything like that. Like, you're just giving me this little ego boost. And then I just wasted how much time on my phone for an ego boost? Like,
dude, do you want to hear my theory on that?
Go ahead.
Well, not my theory, but back what you said about the being part of your community and things. Like where you're famous online. I told my daughter this a while back. She was like, so-and-so is super famous and I can't wait. And I was like, anyhow, whatever. They kind of rubbed me the wrong way, like just in the industry they're in. And I kind of fired back, but it wasn't at her. I was like, but listen, if they walk into Food Lion and nobody knows who they aren't fucking famous. Okay? You might be famous online.
Dude, I literally say that same thing.
But if I can't walk into a store and be seeing people freaking fanboying over you, you're not fucking famous, dude.
100%.
So that's my point on that.
Yeah.
So,
I've literally said that to people. I'm like, hey, man, you ain't Beyonce. Like, she walks in somewhere, they're going to be like, oh, shit. Like, even if you don't like her, you're going to be like, I know that face.
Right. That's my point.
My man, you're a number. Unless you put that number over the face, I don't get it. Like, for some people, like, you know, it is business. People use it as business. I get that, you know, and it's awesome. But just step back a little.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess it does lead to other things, but at the same time, it's like, just relax, dude.
Yeah.
But back to the counter guys. So you become a counter guy, you trudge through the mud, and then you
prove yourself, right? And if you do prove yourself, then you start getting a little rewards.
Yeah.
And they'll start to ask you, like, you know, maybe one day somebody will be like, are you interested in learning this field?
Okay.
And then that's a decision you got to be like, all right, am I going to do this? Because this isn't just something you dabble in and walk away. It's like, it's going to take you 10 years to get even good.
Right. So do you think that, like, when you were a counter guy, were you like tattooing like oranges and watermelons and stuff? I don't know how it works,
no,
but like,
I didn't really go through all that. It was more just like having some stupid friends that were willing enough.
But you were interested in that. That was the goal.
And Perna, I don't mean to call you stupid, buddy. That was just you know. So, but I had a friend of mine. You know, when I first wanted to do, the guy tattooed the picture that I took to my cousin. You know what I mean? Like I told him, I was like, dude, let me tattoo you. I'll tattoo you for life. And he still calls me and is like, hey, I want to come down and get tattooed.
That's badass.
And I love it because I'm just like, yeah, dude, I made you this promise. Damn. He still has that tattoo. As many times as I tried to cover it and get rid of it, he's like, hell no, dude. He was like, that's your first one. Look at that thing. And I'm like, oh.
That's badass.
But I do love it.
Yeah.
Like I see it and I'm like, that's where I started. You know what I mean?
Sick.
That was stage one right there. And now I look at what I do on people and I'm like, I would have never thought. You know, but I'm happy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. You do good work.
Checking goals, and I'm fucking, you know, with tattooing, you never stop learning. I still feel like a beginner. You know, like I'll look at some of the things I do, and they're not bad, but I look at it and I'm like, not hitting the mark I wanted to hit. And then I look at other people's work out there, and I start to beat myself up. And I had to stop that because I was like, all right, man, like, I'm not them. Like I can only do what I can do. So it's like, let me do what I can do to the best of, you know, to my ability. And make my customers smile. I need to smile. Yeah. Because like I just did my job. And then just try a little harder the next time. Or try a little, you know, pay attention to what other people are doing. Try to put it into what you're doing. And just be happy with what you're doing. But you can't go home every night beat up. Yeah. You know, like you got to challenge yourself. But don't beat yourself up.
Yeah, at least you're not complacent though. And just thinking you're the God's gift to earth. You know what I mean?
Well, that'll be the tattooer that plateaus. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you could be 25 years in and you can walk through a convention with a couple friends and just watch one little small movement somebody does and go, huh, I'm going to try that. Like that was interesting. And then next thing you know, in a year, it changes the way you would apply a tattoo. So there's always something to learn. And that's like with what you do with rock crawlers. You know what I mean? I'm sure you see something out on that hill and you're like, huh. I like the way he did that. Maybe I'll think about that the next time I'm welding something up.
Oh, dude, I take everyone's ideas and I twist them, and sometimes it comes out looking like somebody else's idea, but I put my own twist on it somehow. But sometimes people, like, I feel like in some aspects, like the ceiling's been met, you know. But at the same time, you still, you know, not to that full extent, but like, you know, my whole feng shui is like,
it's to the point where we're old enough now where we saw like. I'll use motocross as an example. Like, I saw one of the first backflips in contest, Mike Metzger, in person. Really? In Philly, yeah. And it was like, holy shit, did you just see that? And now a backflip is whatever. Yeah. It's the smallest thing out there.
We're always raising the bar.
These dudes are doing shit that you're like, what the frick is going on here? Like, I didn't even know that was physically possible. And in tattooing, I'm seeing the same thing. It's like, even though, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Instagram, man, you see so much of what people are doing. And I'm on there and I'm looking at tattoos and I'm like, whoa, like that bar is so much higher now than I ever thought it could ever get. But that's a good thing. That means we're still challenging each other and we're still pushing that bar. So it's fun to watch. But then at the same time, like I was saying a little bit ago, like you can't beat yourself up if you can't do that. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, you know, we build motorcycles, but I'm not going to beat myself up every time a nice one pulls in the parking lot. I'm going to be like, dude, that's awesome. I'm going to go learn something, and I want to walk over and see what he did. Yeah. So I do that same thing in tattoo, and I do that same thing in paint, everything. You know what I mean? I feel like that's important for people to do. Yeah. Stay open-minded.
Yeah. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah. Do you do a lot of drawing in your free time too?
No.
No?
It's wild, because I was just talking about this with a few friends, and it's like, I have so many hobbies in my life that it's hard for me just to focus on one. So like with tattooing, when I'm at the shop, and that is my tattooing time. That's when I draw. That's when I do all that. When I step away from that, I go home and I pick up another hobby, whether it's, you know, working on my rifles, or if it's like working on one of my hot rods or my bikes or just some random thing. That way, when I walk back into the tattoo shop, I'm like, ooh, cool, I'm back. Yeah. And I feel a little more happy to be there. That makes sense. You know what I mean? Versus like, oh, I worked on this all weekend. I'm a little like, oh, I'm not real happy with it. Like, I would rather get to work 4 hours early on a Tuesday and then just draw with, you know, peace and quiet, start working some things out. As the guys show up, ask them like, yeah, what do you think of this? Get the input off everybody. You know, most of the time I have corrections to make, which I love, because it's like, hey, this hand's a little weird, do this. And you're like, thank you. You know what I mean? And then you work it out right there. And that makes me happier. That's my rhythm. Where some people want to draw that shit 4 days prior. Get it worked out because I want to enjoy my weekend.
Yeah.
But then the day, for me, like the day when it comes, I drew that 4 days ago. Now I'm looking at it and there's 15 things I want to change. And then it stresses me all out. So I would rather just work on it until I'm done with it.
That makes sense. Yeah. Almost like you're taking your work home too. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess you could look at it both ways. Where if you really, really love it, and that's all you did, but you, like you said, you have other hobbies. So
yeah. I mean, there's times
sense.
where it's like if I'm working on a sleeve or something, like I'll work on it at home.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really have a choice. Like sometimes you just have to put a little time in at home to finish it at work.
Yeah.
But you got to have like a nice little separation.
Yeah.
Like no matter what you do, I love what I do so much. I never want to spoil it.
That's
like my wife all the time. She's like, "You love building motorcycles," and I'm not sitting here saying I'm a professional bike builder or anything like that, but it's one of my hobbies. She's like, "Why don't you just focus on that?" And I'm like, "Because I don't want to build a motorcycle for somebody else."
And it becomes work.
Yeah,
I've danced that line my whole life.
I want to build it the way I see it,
Yep.
and when I'm done, if somebody wants to buy it, they can buy it
As it is.
As it is. Yes. And it's like with tattooing, I know some guys that are like that, where they paint what they paint. You can get what I paint, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're on the internet like, tattooing's slow. Well, yeah, no shit, man. Because maybe the people in your town don't necessarily want that. Now, in tattooing, me over here in Maryland is liking your photo because, hell yeah, brother, I'm a tattooer too. I love that creativity. But your soccer mom in your town, she just wants a nice little script name with a heart covered in fucking green. Just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, have fun with her. Like, she's going to bring her friends back. And that's tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, like, for me, like, I think, just swinging the door is the most important thing. Like, if your town is happy with you, your fucking shop is bulletproof.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're a bartender in my town, I'm going to do something a little cheaper on you. Because you're going to talk to 10,000 people this summer. And I want you to just tell everyone how happy you are with my shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so for, doing a little bit of a cheaper tattoo is like, for me, it's not giving it away. I'm just not going to buy the phone book ad anymore. So
Right.
I'm just going to pay for it in this way.
Yeah.
That
like, makes sense.
Yeah. So like
free advertisement.
Yeah. Whether it's a bartender or a real estate agent or just a waitress, like I'm going to hook you up if you're my locals.
Yeah. And everyone wants a recommendation too. Like that's coming from somebody with a tattoo that had it done, I think.
Well, we've been, so Right Coast 2010 is when we opened it. My buddy Todd's shop, I say we, but it's like I've been there since day one. I've just been a tattooer there. And I've been a manager there for a while too. Like 15 years in, we created an awesome hurricane. You know what I mean? Like that storm, you can't stop. It is just going to constantly go as long as we are just doing what we do.
Just show up.
Yeah, just show up, have a fun face on, have a smile, you know what I mean? Treat your people friendly, let them leave laughing, and they're going to come back.
Hell yeah.
And after 15 years of doing that, it's like I was saying, it's like that door swings open. I'm like, oh shit, it's September because Jack's here. It's like, so you're here. I want to get a little more worked on this, and you're like, this is cool, man.
That is
like,
cool.
I love it. Or we get people that show up and they're like, yeah, this guy Jack sent me. Nice. And I'm like, Jack, and they're like, yeah, from New York, and I'm like, oh, that guy. Yeah. I'm like, all right, that's even cooler.
Hell yeah. So Right Coast. It never even dawned on me, the name, and I don't know if it has anything to do with it or not, but when I look at us on the map, we're physically the right side of the map.
The right coast,
yeah. Is that what
it's like a surfing thing, I guess. Okay. Like, my buddy Todd named it. It's just right coast, the right side of the map.
Well, I mean, you could look at it a bunch of different ways, but
we're on the right side.
Yeah, I love it. It took me forever, and I was like, right coast tattoo, whatever, and then one day it hit me, and I was like, it's right because it is the right side of the map, but it could be like the correct coast. I don't know.
I mean, as long as it's not black something, you know what I mean? I'm happy because everything in tattooing is black rose, black this, black that, and I'm like, God, guys, get off that shit. Like, I'm like, how many different ones can you have, and how many fucking colors? Like,
that's killer. I've never been in there. I've met Todd, just been passing at the gym and stuff, and his wife too. They seem super cool. But
you have to come check it out.
Yeah.
Like one of the things people say about our shop is when they walk in, they're like, they just kind of step back because we have art 100% everywhere. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's not a private studio where it's like you have a few pieces hanging up and it's kind of like, fancy looking. Like, no, ours looks like we are in the 50s and we tattoo every day.
Hell
There's
yeah.
art everywhere. every different styles hanging up. We got, paintings to flash to this and that. And it's like, and then people walk in, they're like, I was thinking something a little more like, and I'm like, oh, like off Pinterest? Yeah, let me pull out my book. And I got a book with 1,000 images that, relate to that stuff.
That's
and
badass.
then they're in, oh, this is perfect. And they're flipping through it. And I'm like, yeah, no matter what you want, like I've already drawn it. I've already tattooed it. Like maybe not the exact one you want, but something kind of like it. You know what I mean? Like originality is hard nowadays, especially in tattoo. And they'll come in and they're like, I got this idea. And I'm like, that's a damn good idea. Let's draw it up. And then when I do my homework to see like, all right, let me see what else is out there that's kind of like this, I'll find that thing. And I'm I'm like, somebody already did it. And it's kind of wild because for me, it's like, you want this holding this with this zodiac and this, and it's already done.
Well, we talked about this with Ryan in here, with even an idea that you have. Somebody somewhere has already done it. It's the world's so big that everyone's already doing everything we're already doing. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but there's always it's your way of doing it though. So it's
a beautiful thing.
It's like your style, and that's another thing I want to ask you. We can get into it now, but I don't want to forget. You have a style of tattoo, and I don't know if they're named or what, and I don't know anything about tattooing, but I see your style, and it's clearly different than a lot of other people's styles of tattoos. So that's another thing. It's like your style.
There's a lot of different styles out there. Mine, it's like, I love doing American traditional, but I don't know if I would call my style that. Like, I have a street style is what I kind of like to call it. It's like, I'm versatile. I can do almost anything. I don't do portraits. I don't do certain things. I just draw the line because I feel like you have to be that guy. If you're going to do a portrait, it's what you're going to do because it's an entire different way of tattooing.
Well, just like you said with the back guy, or that mural or whatever on the back, or whatever. It's like that's what they specialize in.
Oh yeah, like my buddy Todd. I mean, like that dude can rip a back piece like no one I've ever seen.
Really.
And for me, it'd be like, all right, I'm going to get here. I'm going to draw this back piece. I want to show my customer, and then I'm going to tell him like, hey, I'm going to like redraw this once or twice, and like my man will lay a stencil on. It's cool. I'm going to draw this section on. I'm going to draw this section on, and he really makes it fit the body. And then I'll tattoo the entire outline and do it so fast and efficient to where it's like you just gave that person a gift. Because like somebody else is going to take 8 hours to outline that thing. You know what I mean? And put you through torture. Where Todd's been through the realm of like, I've been tattooing for so long, I know how to put it on. So why am I going to sit here and torture somebody? Let me just get it on. And then it's like when you're getting something that large, you respect that because you're like, oh, thank God. Like it's been 3 hours and I got a back piece outlined on me and clean. And then next, when you come back, like he's not going to milk you. He's not going to run the clock. It's just like, no, we're just going to get this on and I'm going to torture you for a little bit. It's going to suck, but we're going to get through it today. And then next thing you know, bam, another section's done. And like, it's a beautiful thing to watch where like me, it's like, I really enjoy that swing of the door. So like when 9 people walk in, like some people get all like, holy shit, there's all these people in the noise. And I'm just like, what's up? Like, what are you trying to get? Like, what are you trying to get? And then I just draw them all real quick. And then I get the whole room hanging out. Dude, I've even bought pizzas for people. Just
really?
Like, yeah, just like, hey, there's pizza on the counter. Eat. Like, I don't care. And then next thing you know, 9 people leave in under an hour and a half. And I'm just like, hell yeah.
That's badass.
Like, that was fun.
Yeah.
Where's the next group? You know what I mean? But that's like my gift. Where some people like, 9 people walk in and they're just like stress fest and they're like, holy shit, man, I can't do all this.
You guys gotta come back.
Yeah. And it's like, no. It's like, you just, I'll give you the bigger tattoo. Let me just handle this.
That's a killer.
And I'm not saying Todd can't do little tattoos.
Right.
Me and him,
I get what you're saying.
We slay together.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
I get it.
Like everybody at the shop. Like,
it's cool.
So,
you have the tool sets that complement each other.
Oh, yeah.
That's that you need that.
With Right Coast, like, it's a wild beast, man. So like I came up in street shop. So like I'm really good with like high volume swing of the door, right? Our guy Adam Weir, he was an art professor at Salisbury University. Like phenomenal artist. You know what I mean? He comes in, he's got this knowledge of art. He picks up the way we do things, and now he's an unstoppable animal. You know what I mean? Like
he's tattooing?
Oh yeah, Adam's been tattooing now 13 years, I think now. Might be a little longer. Like I said, I'm terrible with time.
Yeah.
But like, dude, he's I look at it personally like he's better than me. I'm like, holy shit, and it's awesome to watch that happen because like you were my counter guy, and then I was showing you little tricks on lining and shading and this and that. And now I'm looking over and I'm like, ooh, look at that thing. I'm like, that's friggin' amazing. And then like you got Todd, who's been tattooing, I want to say close to 30 years now.
Wow.
You know, he's art school, the whole nine. He's been around, you know what I mean? Travel the world. So like you'll be doing certain things and you can ask him questions on art too. And then he'll be like, you know, change this, change that. And Adam will help me in certain ways. And we all help each other. And we got Gino now. He's our now new tattooer. You know, he's an apprentice that's slowly stepping out of it in the tattooing. His tattoos are looking good. He still has a lot to learn, but at the same time, he's got all of us.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then even with Gino, he's teaching me a little looseness, where it's like, man, I try to make everything so perfect, and then I look at something he did, and I'm like, that's fucking cool, dude. It's got a nice little texture to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, maybe I gotta loosen up a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? And then like, so no matter what, like everyone at our shop benefits each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even our counter guy. Like we got our buddy Seth right now. He's our counter guy, and like, without, like I was saying earlier, without him greasing, it's hard for us to stay in motion.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for the shop to make money and for us to pay our bills, we got to stay in motion. If every time the phone rings or there's a problem, we got to stop tattooing, get up, like, it's just one, slows everything down. But then it also, I'm leaving my customer sitting there with a raw tattoo for 15 minutes while I'm doing something. Then I come back and now you're in pain and I got to get back into this raw skin. Like, it's unfair to them.
Right.
So like we want everyone to do their job and
Yeah.
their part. So that way everything's happening really smooth.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But that's like everything.
Uh-huh.
Like even here, like powder coating, I'm sure is very clean.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I watch your setup and I see how clean it is, and I'm like, that's probably super important.
Yeah, and there's so many things, and I think about this as a consumer when, you know, just because of what I do, there's so many things that goes into it that nobody even knows. You know, it's hard to explain it too, because I don't want to like explain it and come off like I'm trying to sell you on it either. It's not my goal.
Yeah.
But there is so many undercover things that you're doing, and I'm sure, excuse me, I'm sure that's what you're doing too. And there's so many behind the scenes things that you're to pull that off. It's important, and there are steps that are critical, and you can't overlook it because the result depends on that.
Oh yeah.
So that's with everything, or not everything. That's for me. I know that for a fact.
Well,
but it's given me a higher appreciation for going into, like, say, a shop like yours and getting a tattoo. I'm looking at everything working, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, the price isn't just the price. There's one, that's only one of my things that's going through my brain. It's like, okay, well, there's so many other things that's what I'm paying for. But then there's other things. It's like for a successful tattoo, for it to be not painful or whatever. You're doing things that I don't even know about, but it all works at the end of the day.
Well, it's like every step counts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
skip a step,
Right.
it's going to show at the end. You
Yep.
can't skip steps.
Yep.
You can't rush through steps. Like,
That's the hard part.
It is
but
the
it
hard
is
part.
that's a delicate line though, and I didn't even think about it until you said it. It's like if Scott or Todd's doing a tattoo and he's doing a back outline quickly, I mean, you have the option to milk that thing, and that's an aspect I never even thought about. It's like if you're just in it for money, you could do that, really.
Well, you could, like, I'm not saying like tattooers out there purposely do that.
Right. I'm not
They're
saying
just-
they do either, but I'm just saying if they're slow,
Yeah.
right, they don't mean to be, but that's just how it works.
Exactly.
You know?
And
But
that's where like Todd's 30 years comes in.
Yeah.
It's like he's like, all right, I know what needle I'm going to use, what machine I'm going to use, and I know everything how it needs to be set up, and I'm going to roll through this.
that's interesting.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Because when you've lined as many back pieces as like some of these guys, you know, as soon as you look at somebody, you're like, all right, they're a little soft. You know what I mean? So I got to do certain things so I can make sure this line turns out the way I want.
Mm-hmm.
Or you look at them and they're rock fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this dude lifts. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to apply this a little tiny different. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Like, there's little tiny things that we know that help us out.
Yeah.
Where like the new school kids, they don't know. They're just like, oh, I line with this.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, good luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you'll get a line on them,
Yeah.
and then you're going to be like, I wonder why that blew out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And you're like, well, that's where 10 years of going through tatting and
That's what I was gonna
learning a
say.
little like experience to where you're like, oh, I actually kind of feel like I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like where I'm at, there's days I walk in and I'm like, I feel great. And then there's days I walk in and I'm like, man, I need to fucking focus more. Like, and it's not that I'm doing anything bad. I'll just feel like I need to push this a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll try.
You mean like outside your comfort zone a little bit?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like maybe I'll just try to put the bells and whistles on this a little more in that same time frame without taking too long.
Makes
you know
sense.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Give them a little more.
But that's experience.
Mhm.
Like if I have an hour to do a tattoo, most people are going to apply it and make it clean, make it solid, in what they can do within that hour. I'm looking at it as, I've been tattooing for so long, that tattoo's not going to take me an hour. It's going to take me 35 minutes. But I'm going to let it take me an hour. And I'm going to add a little extra in for them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to charge them for it, but that's going to make that tattoo that much nicer to where your friends are going to see it and go, where'd you get that? And then it's bringing me business.
Right.
And I'm like, perfect. You know what I mean? That's perfect. So I don't mind putting a little extra in sometimes. Because one, it makes me feel better. You know, I don't always have to get paid for that little extra I'm doing. Because I know it's going to pay me in the future.
Right.
You know, and like everything. Like when you powder coat a bunch of stuff, like, and people see that. Like I get people that see my bike all the time and they're like, that's not powder. And I'm like, yes, it is. And they were like, nah, like powder scratches a little. I'm like, not by my guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, he clears that shit, dude. Like it looks good. And then like they're tripping out. They're like, and they're looking over at their bike, and I'm like, yeah.
That was a trick of the trade. I didn't even know. I was like, one of these days I'm gonna try this. And
but that's experience and knowledge, you know what I mean? And I've been like getting stuff powder coated for bikes for you long enough to where it's like I have one in my garage right now that's not cleared.
You've seen it.
I have one that's cleared. They both look great, but you get it in the sunlight and you're like, oh man. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, do I tear this bitch down and get the frame redone?
I wish I knew at the time, but that's one of those things that you learn as you go.
Yeah.
And gloss black is one of the most requested colors, but it's one of the most difficult. It's crazy.
You see every flaw.
At first, I was like, how am I gonna ever overcome this? Like, it's the most requested, and it's always the most difficult with like cast parts or whatever. Anyhow, but I discovered that the clear on there was the ticket. So, but just years of doing it and seeing it, when I would not clear it, but when I'd like wipe, say something I did for the shop or my own personal piece, I would see those micro scratches, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, that just micro scratched. What the hell? What can I do to avoid that? And then I was like, well, one of these days I'm going to clear it and just see what it does. Done so. So
done deal.
Yeah,
you're like,
love
I should have did that 3 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not bomb proof, but at the same time, it's like when you look at the difference between the two, it's way, way better.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it's night and day.
And it gives it like a depth too. When you're looking at it, it's like when you look, I don't know what it is, but it's like it looks thicker. Like when you're looking into like an eye of something, like a dark thing, it's like you can see in it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's cool.
No, that makes sense because it's like it has that layered clear coat look, and that there's something about that where it gives it that little bit of a shine where it catches the light just right. It does give it that little bit of depth, and it just looks good.
Well, I didn't mean to steal away from the thing, but you're giving the customers more value and bringing it back full circle to the value of what they're getting with a tattoo, I guess. I didn't mean to get caught up in
no, you're fine. I like when shit gets random.
I know. I just wanted to make sure you got your thought all the way out, because that's
absolutely.
what you're doing is you're giving the customer more tattoo for the same price, pretty much. Which you're not really worried about the price. You're just worried about getting the tattoo on them, and making them happy with it,
and making it to where I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, I can sit here and pump out Pinterest shit all day, but it's like, let me tweak these things.
Yeah.
Like, let me make them a little fun for me to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And then
well, you don't want somebody walking around with the same thing that everyone else has either. You're like, well, this lady just got that last week. You don't want that.
These days, everything's fine line. You know what I mean? Everything's tiny. And it's like, you can adapt or you can fall off. You know what I mean? So, like, I love doing bold line, big tattoos. But now I have this, like, obsession with doing tiny little things because it's fun, because it's new, and I'm just like, man, let me try this. And it's like, we have certain guys that have come and worked at our shop where I'm like watching what they do, and these are fine line artists, and I'm like, so all right, this is like a whole new world of tattooing for me. And now that fine line's been so popular, dude, I blast through it.
Really?
I'm so good at it now. Like, you get these tiny little fine line crosses coming in, and dude, these tattoos are not easy. Like, you're talking tattoos where if you just fucking hiccup, you're going to see that forever. Because there's nowhere to hide that. Where if I'm doing imagery with shadowing and shading, it's like, if a little line gets a little funny, I can I can like put a shadow coming off a corner. You'll never be able to know. But now somebody comes in and they want a single line cross behind their ear. That gives me 2 chances. You know what I mean? And it's like, now I don't even look at it like it's stressful. Now I'm like, cool, like tight little 3. And I'm like, all right, we're done. Check it out. Some guys are like, I got to put that where? Behind the ear? And they get all like kind of nervous. And it's like, yeah, first I did too. Now I'm looking at it like, oh, I bet I could do that thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's badass. Raising the bar even higher. Yeah.
But also, like, that's what these people today are into. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do it.
That's kind of crazy, too. The trends just kind
of... Tattooing is trendy.
Yeah.
It's very trendy.
It moves.
The internet steers it now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It really does. Like, back in the day, it was magazines. Like, when I was, like, first getting into it, I was looking at, like, Tattoo Time magazines on my cousin's shelf, which were put out by Ed Hardy. And, like, those books, they gave me, like, the beginning knowledge of being like, this is amazing stuff. Look at these people. And then if you wanted to see anything different, you'd have to go to the gas station a certain day when the new magazines came out. And I would go buy every single one, bring them back to the tat shop, and we would all go through the magazines. Sit there and look at different tats and, like, oh, who's doing this? And then, like, that's how your name got out there. I couldn't tell you how many times I mailed photos in the magazines and just never heard anything or never saw it in a book. But I'm like, whatever, threw my dart, you know. And I saw one time, and I'm like, yes, like, I made it, you know. And it was like the stupidest tattoo where I'm like, they chose that one. I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right, but whatever. I made the book, and it's like nowadays Instagram is the magazine.
Yeah.
So you get on there and you can see the problem with Instagram though is you're seeing the good and the bad. So you got to kind of know what you're looking at.
Oh,
like, so many of these, like, kids nowadays, they see these micro tattoos and they're like, well, it's already been done. It's doable. And I'm like, well, you're seeing a fresh tattoo. You're seeing that thing done today. You're seeing a photo of it maybe the next morning. You're not seeing it 6 months down the road, a year down the road. Like, and I show them stuff on me. Yeah. I'm like, look, like, I'm 41 years old. I got this when I was 16. Look at it.
Yeah.
And they're like, nah, I'm cool with that. When I know deep down inside, I'm like, no, you're not. You're not cool with that. You just want me to do it. So, like, I try to have, like, a conversation just being like, hey, like, I'm trying to help you by not doing certain things.
Yeah.
So, like, red outlines, I don't do them. I got red outlines on me. You know what I mean? Like, on some people, they heal, and they heal okay. Some people, they don't.
Yeah.
So that's a gamble. So you know what I do with people's skin? I don't gamble.
Right.
If I think there's going to be anything that's not going to heal right, I'm not doing it. Because I don't want any chance of you being like, right coast, fuck this up.
Dude.
Because people don't take responsibility for when they're like, no, I beat him up to the point where I made him do it.
Right.
And now it healed like shit, it's my fault.
They will never say that.
Never.
Literally.
They're going to be like, I don't know. He just fucked my tat up.
Yeah.
And they're just going to act like it was me.
Dude, I'm so happy that you said that.
So to avoid that, you don't do it. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that fucking money's not worth it.
It's not.
I agree. Because, like, it's going to hinder money in the future. But you saying no to it, and then you talk them into a better option and it heals good, and then 3 of their friends came in, you already won by not doing it.
Yeah.
So sometimes putting your foot down is good.
It is.
It's like you have to draw a line, especially when you know an outcome's not going to be what they want, and then it reflects on you.
I say the same thing. I say I'd rather disappoint you now, right to your face, than in 2 weeks when you're calling me, and then it's a problem then. You know what I mean? I'd rather just do it right now, because it's easier to walk away right now disappointed, and there's no chance you can bash me other than you can go on there and be like, hey, he was just brutally honest with me.
Yeah. And I mean, you've done that with me with powder.
Yeah, sorry.
I brought pieces to you.
Yeah.
You were like, I'm not doing this one.
Sorry.
But you would break it down and explain why. And I'm like, understanding.
Right.
Like, oh, okay.
As a consumer, it makes sense for you to just go buy the piece already done, or a different piece to be done, or whatever, vice versa. And I don't remember which case it was, but same thing with your shading thing. I wholeheartedly agree.
A lot of the parts that I get powder coated are vintage. You know what I mean? So, like, sometimes when you're like, hey, this has a small bubble in it, I'm like, well, it's almost more valuable like that than us fucking it up.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you hit me up and I'm like, you know what? That part's not super expensive. I'm like, so let's just gamble. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But like, there was one time I think it was like, you were like, yeah, I'm not even going to take the gamble. You were like, this isn't going to go out the way you think it is. And I was like, all right, that's fine. Thanks. Like, I like the honesty. Yeah.
It's sometimes though, you'll probably do the same thing I do. And I say, okay, you know what? I'll do it. You know what? Let's do it, but this is a disclaimer. It's most likely gonna do this. And how many times are you right? You know,
dude,
you probably right 90% of the times.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. 100%. Right. So you already know.
Like, we have, like, prime example, right? Like, one of our guys at the shop, guy comes in, he wants a fucking name on his finger, but it was like 6 letters. You know what I mean? And we're like, dude, you can't do that. It's not gonna heal well. Like, I can get it on today, and it's gonna look okay for a little bit, but I guarantee with your mechanic hands, because you don't have these soft, you don't have good skin. It's dried out. It's tough. And I'm like, it's not going to heal very well. And then he wanted something else on his chest. So one of our guys was like, look, no problem. I'll do it. But I'm just telling you now, like, it's probably not going to heal well and it's probably going to look a little rough. But if you want it, I'll do it. Not a week and a half later, this guy's on the phone upset. Well, my finger's all fucked up and blah, blah, blah. And we're just like, well, dude, we had this conversation. We were all laughing and being like, oh, fuck it, we'll do it.
It's going to happen, though. Yeah.
And then we're like, well, how's the tattoo on your chest? Dude, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
and
right.
we're like, oh my God. We're like, so you get what we're saying, right? Same guy, 2 different spots.
Yeah.
And you're mad at the shop because your finger didn't heal right. When the same guy, same 2 spots, nailed that chest tattoo.
Right.
Come on.
It happens.
People just don't know how to pull their head out of their ass sometimes.
Yeah, it happens.
Like,
it happens.
I can't say I'm sure I'm that guy sometimes without noticing it,
We all do it.
Hopefully
In different aspects.
In my 40s, I'm not. Hopefully I grew out of that shit.
Yeah. Do you ever have people... Well, there's a couple of questions that I want to ask. I know you get a lot of people with their first time tattoos, but I don't want to forget. What's the most requested location? Like, is there... Or not, I don't know if is it like the arm or is it like...
I mean, there is so...
It's got to be something along those lines.
So a lot of times it's like inner ankle, side of the wrist for like tiny tats. You know what I mean? Like inner elbows, like little hideable spots, like collarbone, stuff like that.
So people are wanting to hide these things.
You're normies.
Okay.
All right. And I don't mean that to sound bad.
No.
But then you have this...
I'm picking up your vocabulary.
You have this kind of joke that I have where I call it the Baltimore bodysuit. Right.
Okay.
And it's like these kids will get their neck and their hands tattooed, so when they put a fucking sweatshirt on, they look cool. And it's like you look heavily tattooed, but then you take your shit off and you look like an idiot at the beach. It's like, bro, you got a neck sleeve and gloves on. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
and your chest is bald. I'm like, what is happening right now? And like...
So that happens?
That happens, yeah. And we make jokes. It's like, get it where it counts. You know what I mean?
Really?
Because these people, they just come in. Like, we had a kid come in. He's like, oh, I'm going to college soon. I want to get this rose on the side of my neck. And I straight up was like, look, buddy, we're not going to do that. Like, you're getting ready to go to school. Like, you're going to have to get a job, shit like that. Like, that's still real. People think tattooing is just fully accepted. And it's like, yeah, it is for the most part, but like you're trying to become a doctor and you want a rose on the side of your neck, like I don't think anyone's going to hire you, dude.
Well, at least
until you're already in it, at least, and then maybe you can get away with it. So like, I talk him into his like collarbone area. I was like, just get it like right here. Yeah. And I was like, maybe we'll do a little leaf that pokes out, so that way you have that cool guy effect. You know what I mean? But like, come on, bro. You're 18 years old and you're trying to get your neck tattooed for your first tattoo. Like, calm down.
Yeah.
Like. But, I mean...
All kinds of kinds.
You kind of have to be a parent in the tattoo shop without being somebody's parent. It's like, people are going to make stupid mistakes. And I'm not your parent, so I'm not here to tell you no, but I still want to sleep tonight. Mm-hmm. So if somebody comes in and they're like, I want my throat done, I'm like, yeah, man, like... Let's do
Maybe this guy will do it.
Yeah, I'll do something else on you. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do some wild shit, but like, let's not do your neck or your hands, and then like that way I can sleep tonight, and I'm not like, oh, I just fucked that kid's life up.
Yeah.
But if you're like I said this the other day to a coworker, like I had this lady come in and she was like, I want a heart on my face. She has like no tattoos, right? But she's like middle aged, and this is what she wants. You're grown up. I did it. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, man, I'm surprised you did that. And I'm like, well, hey, she's not a kid. Like, you've been through life. You know what it's like to make good and bad decisions. You walked in here as an adult. I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not, like, she's older than me. Really? I'm not going to parent her and be like, well, you shouldn't do this. Yeah. Like, because when it comes down to it, it's like some tattooers would be like, well, hey, man, you got to earn that spot. And it's like, okay, I agree with that to a point. But then, like, what if this older lady comes in and she just wants a rose on the side of her hand and it's the only tattoo she wants? Are you going to tell her to get her arm done first? No. I'm going to do that little rose on her hand.
Yeah.
You're 18, you come in, you want something on your hand, I'm going to be like, bro, like, you plan on being heavily tattooed one day? And they're like, well, I want to. Well, then this is how you do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then you explain to them, like, the steps to look like one of us.
Yeah. So what is the steps?
Well,
like, I didn't know that there was any of this stuff existed.
There's kind of steps, right?
Okay,
like,
so take me through it.
Right,
I don't know anything about this.
So normally you would get like your your arms and legs tattooed. You know what I mean? Like shit you can cover up and still go out and you go to court and not look like a criminal. You know what I mean? But then like after your arms are full, then you get your hands done.
Okay.
Because it's like you got to that point, now do your hand.
Okay.
Torso, now do your neck. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's how like some old schoolers look at it.
Generally.
Yeah. I mean, there's no set rules in tattooing.
Uh-huh.
Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, it's self-expression.
Yeah.
You know, if you want something on your forehead, swastika in the middle like Charles Manson, then
Go for it.
go for it, my man. Like, I'm not going to do it. But I'm sure somebody out there will.
I can imagine.
But
yeah, people have done it.
they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you're saying that you have to earn the tattoo locations for the majority.
For the majority, yeah. And then, like, you know, like I was saying, if you're a little older and you don't want to have to go through all that and you just want a little tiny tattoo on the side of your hand, like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because your goal is not to be heavily tattooed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like recently, it's like all these kids are getting their upper thighs tattooed.
Bro, I've seen that. That's what I was going to ask you. Is it mostly females with their? It's right here down their leg,
it's
right?
Bros, it's females, it's all of them. You know what I mean? Like, they're coming in, they're getting their upper thighs tattooed, and for me at first, I'm like, this is the weirdest shit in the world.
Is it the side or the top?
It's both. You know,
Okay,
it's they're squeezing them in. It looks like little scribble boards and shit, and it's like the silliest little tattoos. But you know, after a few years of seeing it, I'm starting to realize it's kind of smart. Because at first I was like, this is stupid. Why are you getting your thigh tattooed? Get that thing on your forearm. And now I'm thinking about my body. And I'm like, oh my God, if I would have got my thighs done first, I'd have all my cool tattoos on my arms and legs. Because when I was younger, I just wanted to be tattooed. So it was just tattoo me. I want to be covered. I want to look cool. I never once stepped back to be like, I should be seeking certain people out. You know what I mean? Like certain people that really impress me versus just trying to be tattooed at the beach.
Because you only have so much space in your body.
You only have so much space. And as you get older, you know, like it either can become less painful, get tattooed on your thighs, and then everything starts on the inner and starts to go out. Or it can be the other way around, where now I'm in my 40s getting my ribs tattooed. And I'm just like, oh shit, this sucks. You know, like when I was 20, I probably would have sat a lot better for it.
Yeah.
So like the cool thing about the thighs, in my opinion, it's like if somebody decides they don't want to be tattooed, you can forever hide that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then your arms and legs are clean. But one day you were like, oh shit, I shouldn't have put this Grim Reaper on my forearm. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, well, tough shit, dude. You got a Grim Reaper on your forearm because it's there for life.
Yeah.
So like they're starting out a little on a better path. Starting on the thighs, I guess. You know,
barrier to
everything was arms and legs. Like, I want to be seen with tattoos. Yeah. And I love my tattoos because they do tell a story. Mm-hmm. But now I'm getting tattooed by people that are like, as tattooers, we look at them as the greats. And I'm fortunate enough to have friends that know certain people. And now I'm getting these tattoos by people that are like very well known. And I feel so bad I got to give them these shit spots. I'm like, well, here's the side of my ass cheek, dude. Like, sorry. Yeah. Like, I'm getting tattooed by Shinji. He's a Japanese tattooer in New York. Hand pokes everything. And he's like all up next to my crotch. And he's like all up on my torso. And I'm like, dude, I feel bad. I'm like, I really wish I could have gave you a better spot.
Yeah. You still got your face and your head, dude.
So, you know, like there's certain things like I've wanted to tattoo my head and I've almost done it a few times. But I think about my neck and how I regret doing my neck. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, how am I going to feel about my head?
Yeah.
You know, and it's not that I do regret doing my neck, but not for the imagery that's on it. It's now that I'm in my 40s, I'm starting to realize, like, necks age faster than any part of the body. For skin and tattoos.
Pulling and stuff.
Like, just seeing the ashiness of, like, the little wrinkles in my beard when I shave and shit. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm like, that wheel does not look as crispy as it used to when I was 26. You know what I mean? Now I'm 41, and I'm like, that aged.
Yeah.
But if I would have got my neck done in my 40s, shit would have looked good all the way until I didn't care.
But you know what, though? It goes back to your learning experience. So, like, you can tell people with extreme confidence, hey, dude, you're 26.
Yeah.
You don't want a neck tattoo right now. Maybe you do, but this is my caution.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Think about that, though. Did we listen?
No, absolutely not.
So,
if anything, we push harder.
There's some times where I'm explaining to somebody, and I'll start to think about it. I'm like, holy shit, I'm that guy now. And I'm like, and this kid's going to do whatever the hell he wants.
Yep. Which is totally cool.
Which is totally cool. But I'm just going to I even say that to him sometimes. I'm like, look, man, I know you're going to do whatever you wanted. I did the same thing. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to this, maybe, pause a little bit, think about that. And then they kind of look at you and it's like, yeah, man, I'm not trying to say no. I'm just saying,
don't care. Yeah.
Take 15 minutes.
Yeah.
like maybe think about this before we slam it on.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you did just walk in 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know?
That's crazy, man. I didn't think about any of that stuff you said. And another thing that just hit me is you're getting tattooed by other people. I mean, you can probably do your own to a certain extent. I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying
like,
you. I don't know if you can or not, but physically you could.
Yeah,
but
I've tattooed my upper thighs and stuff like that in the very beginning.
Point is you have to get tattooed by somebody else to look how you look, which is interesting because it's other people's work on a tattoo artist. That's killer.
And it's cool. It's school. It's college. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've been tattooing a long time, but when I go sit down and I'm like watching this guy draw on me and I'm watching his steps and his movements and I'm like, I'm literally paying attention. I'm literally not looking at this like I'm paying for a tattoo. I'm paying for this day. Like, I'm in his studio. I want to see how he's set up, how he lays everything out, how you lay me down, how you stretch my skin out. Like,
you're continuing education.
Attention, yes. You know what I mean? Like,
it's badass.
Tattoo conventions, like, I love walking them. Now, I'm there to work, and you'll see me sitting in my booth, and then you'll see me wandering around, and some guys are like, well, he ain't going to make any money if he's not in his booth. And in my head, I'm like, dude, I'm in school.
Right.
Like, I'm walking around right now. Like, I'm looking at the way either Mike Wilson's doing this or Tim Lehigh's doing that or this person. You know, I'm just like, oh, man, I got to sit here and watch for 5 minutes. Like, I'm never to the point where I'm like, oh, yeah, I've seen their stuff in a book. I'll look at the book at home. Like, no, that's not as good as in person.
And you just see it live.
Like, yeah.
They're working right in front of you.
Movements are big. You know what I mean? Like, you can look at a book and pictures on how to weld, but then you watch somebody do it and they move their wrists in the flow, and then you're like, oh, I get it now. You know what I mean?
One of the biggest things, I've actually done that recently. One of my buddies, I was like, dude, I need to go back to school. I need some help. I'm all self-taught too. So anyhow, the prep, it was like, he was like, dude, I didn't even weld. And I was like, no. You already taught me. I already know. You just taught me everything I needed to know. You didn't even have to do anything other than that part you just did.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've been missing this my whole time. I was one step away, dude.
One step?
One tiny thing, man. I was like, that was the difference. And he was mind blown. He's like, oh, well,
like earlier, man.
Glad I could help.
Missing
you know
that one step in the ladder can
glad
just
I could help.
The end thing. You're like, why isn't not hitting the mark I want to hit?
That makes the difference, though. Yeah. I guess that's probably what separates the good from the great. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
So
like, you have people that really push themselves to really learn every step, and you have people that are like, well, I can get to the top by skipping steps. And as long as they're getting to the top, they're happy. But no, I want my top to be perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want the top of the ladder to be sunlight, not like, oh, I'm in the clouds. Like, no. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to me.
But you have to get those hard lessons, like all those things you talked about, like the shading, the red, and all that stuff. Like you've seen it firsthand, and even on yourself and everywhere else. And you're like, I can tell you with extreme confidence that I can save you all the BS if you just take my word for it. But it's whether or not you're receptive to it or not, I guess. And that's this whole podcast right there. Is that we're trying to skip, or not? This isn't to be preachy or anything, but it's like, that's the goal. That's what sparked this thing, was what led us to where we're at, you know, and that wisdom it is wisdom that you've got because you learned it the hard way, I think. So I think that's super interesting to touch on that real quick.
No, I fully agree. Like, life is experience. You know what I mean? And if you've got your blinders on, this shit's gonna just stay hard. Dude, you know what I mean? You gotta like watch everything around you. Like, if somebody makes a mistake, fucking pay attention, because you don't want to make the same mistake.
Dude, I'm the same way.
Maybe if they're willing, ask them what happened. Like, how'd that happen, man? Like, I'm not trying to hate on you, but like, I do the same thing, and I just noticed this, and the next thing you know, you're having a nice conversation with somebody, and it's like, you walk away from it learning a little something, and like a little like, all right, don't do that.
Yeah. Some of my best lessons are learned by like listening to somebody talk, or like that guy just showed me that one little thing, and it's like, that was the difference, you know, or an acronym that you didn't exactly know what it meant until somebody said it, and you're like, oh, that's what heating, ventilation, and air conditioning meant. You know what I mean? Everyone's just calling themselves HVAC guys. For example, I'm not saying I'm that dumb. I'm just saying that,
what's that, a certified thing?
Literally, but like sometimes like somebody says something along those lines, and you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. But it's whether or not you're receptive to it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be an arrogant asshole and be like, no, I'm the best at what I do. And maybe you are. And I have no room to talk. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, for the majority of us, I think that being receptive And like, even though I'm self-taught powder coater, right? If somebody came in here and they're like, dude, you don't know shit. Let me show you something. I'm like, okay, show me.
Yeah.
I want to be the best. So show me.
Yeah,
like,
and then while they're doing that, you're watching and making your mind up of whether they know their shit or not.
Correct.
And then at the very end, you can just be like, yeah, cool, thanks for showing me that. And in your head, you're like, I ain't fucking doing that.
Literally.
Or you can be like, man, I just learned something that's going to save me 4 hours every day.
Correct.
Like,
but it's whether or not you're receptive to it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe there's some people out there that wouldn't be. I don't know. That's been a whole feng shui my whole life. But yeah, I'm glad that I see that in you with your tattoo, and you're like, dude, I'm going to let this dude tattoo me. And I'm going to watch everything, and I'm going to learn. That's so badass, dude.
Yeah. And not only try to learn, but be in pain while you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, not only are you sitting there trying to pay attention, you're like, oh, shit, all right, I do this to people every day.
Yeah.
Like, God. And I think that's one of the most important things about getting tattooed is when your customer's having a hard time, and it's like, it allows you not to get frustrated with them. Because it's like, I've been here. I know what it's like. You know what I mean? So when they're like, holy shit, I'm like, well, let's take a second. You know what I mean? You want a piece of sugar or something? Get some water in you. Like, got to reset. You know, like, let's get you back in the right state of mind and get you back on my table where you're calm. But if they're just tensing up and I'm like, hey, like, sit still, man, that doesn't help. You know what I mean?
You're
like,
yelling at them
really
like, you're paying for
help.
this. Yeah.
And that's a trick you learn. You know what I mean? And that's part of the reason I talk a lot. You know what I mean? Because I try to keep their mind out of going to that panic moment. And if they're having a hard time, I walk them through it. Like, I'll be like, take a breath. All right, you ready? Let that out. Little line. All right, we're going to do that same thing again. Take a breath. And it's like, yeah, it's a little tedious, and you got to treat them like a little bit of a child sometimes, but I'm helping both of us out. You know what I mean? I'm getting them through it, and I'm getting myself through it, and trying to get this thing on there as clean as I possibly can and still impress people.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And time is of the essence, too, because you're trying to get them in and out.
Well,
within reason.
With tattooing, like, yeah, turnaround is how you make some money. But you can't think of it like that.
I know.
You know, because when some people start to think of it like, I need to get this amount of tats in today, well, is it quality? Because, like, if I'm only going to put 8 out instead of 15, but the 8 are amazing, then I'd rather do 8 because I want my work out there to impress people.
Yeah.
I don't want to just pump, and then next thing you know, it's like, oh, yeah, all right, cool. I made a bunch of money, but no one's really happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that's not why I got into this. Like, I got into this to have fun. Like, I want people to laugh. Like, that was like when I walked into my cousin's tattoo shop as a little kid. And I sat down and, like, you know, I was 13 when I got my first professional tattoo.
No kidding.
Yeah, my mom, like, I did a little hand poke thing on myself, never told anybody about it. And then, like, I was kind of, like, showing interest, and I asked my mom, I was like, yeah, can you, like, take me down? I want to get tattooed, you know, by Toby. She's like, well, I'll see if I can set it up. Next thing you know, I'm at the tat shop at 13, and I'm getting a tattoo. I pass the fuck out. I hit the floor. I wake up to him smacking and laughing in my face, and it's just like, you would think that would have scared me off. You know what I mean? Then I get back up in the chair, and it's like, here's some sugar, and everyone's hanging out, laughing. Oh, buddy, I've been there. I've done that. And you're like, oh, I'm not like a joke. Like, everyone's kind of just like making sure I'm okay. And like, and then I'm fine, and I'm back in the chair, and I'm getting tattooed, and everyone's walking over because they're like, holy shit, buddy, you're 13, man. Like, and like, everyone was like thrilled for me. And then I was just like, I love this place. I'm like, I love the vibe. It's like everyone in here is just creating something. And it's not like this, you know, corporate structured thing. It's like, which, you know, who knows what tattooing's going to turn into one day. Hopefully it never turns into that, but it seems like big money, and with how popular tattooing's getting, they're going to try. You know, they've already tried in some ways, you know, with color and stuff like that. They want to try to, like, make sure who's making it's legit. And it's like, slow down. Like, you just want to get control is what it is, you know. And like with tattooing, it started off with these people making all their own stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that was where tattooing came from, was like an apprenticeship of somebody being like, this is how you're going to make a machine, a needle, ink, everything. No one could just do it because they didn't have the wherewithal. Where do I get it? Like, where do I go to pick this stuff up? No, you had to literally know a tattooer.
That's wild.
And nowadays it's like, it's out there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like Cisco.
There's certain machines out there. I don't even call them machines anymore. It's an electric pen. And it's like, to me, I see that, and I see the craft getting lost a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure it makes the job a little easier. There's a lot of really well-known tattooers out there using them. But I look at it and I'm like, if that thing breaks, can you fix it on the spot?
Right.
And there's no way, because it's like a little motherboard inside of it, and little electronics. And it's like, no, you're sending that back in for a warranty.
Yeah.
As soon as I hear that warranty and everything, I'm like, that's corporate. That's grabbing. Like, no, man. Like, I want to go in the back room. I'm going to cut a new spring. I'm going to fucking put it on my machine. I'm going to tune it, and I'm going to get back out there, and I'm going to make my job happen.
That's badass.
No one's going to stop me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that to me is something special in tattooing.
Yeah.
It's like you, at the end of the day, can make the thing happen.
Yeah. Well, it's like hot rodding too. Like,
Yeah.
not to circle back on that, but like that's what it became, that because
No,
like you're
100%.
modifying
Yeah.
something, you're showing your expression. It's everything you encompass. I mean, it is tattooing.
Yeah.
So that is what it's all about.
And I mean, like with machines, it's kind of like you'll see somebody out there that'll be doing certain style tattoos, and one of the things you want to know is, how's their machine run?
Mm-hmm.
What are they running it at? Because then you're learning how to, oh, that's how they apply that. All right, because without that tool, you can't do your job.
But
And that tool comes like, even though it's super simple, a tattoo machine, oh my God, you can make that thing run so many different ways.
I bet.
And it's really impressive what some people can do with them.
I bet. Do you think though that it's just keeping up with the times with technology and things though, with that new pen or say whatever it is? But like, do you think that that's just the way of the world though? Like the bar keeps getting higher and higher and higher. So to be competitive and to see those Instagram tattoos that are like mind blowing in those little tiny areas, it's like, does it have to be like that? Or do you have to be open-minded enough to be like, all right, we'll have one of those, but we'll also stick to our roots too? Like,
there are some people out there I do notice, like they'll line with a coil, shade with a rotary. Like I use a shag built rotary for my shading because it helps my wrist, because over the years my wrist has a little pain to it. So to take the weight off that heavy shader, it does help out. But with that, to me, the way the slide is and everything on it, it still runs like a traditional tattoo machine. These newer school ones, I think it's more about, you have cartridges that you can just plug and play, and it's easier setups.
When you say cartridge, like
so there's like little tips that you can put on them that are different needle sizes.
Oh, okay.
So where normally I would have a needle bar that I would put, in my rig and set everything up by hand and have to do all the adjustments and everything. And if you didn't have that knowledge, your shit wasn't going to run right.
Okay.
Now they're just plug and play.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's the ease of it. It's, to pull it out, throw it away. It's real simple. You can have one machine, 4 different tips on your counter, and keep swapping them in and out. Like, I see the perks, you know what I mean? But I also look at it and I'm like, I'm really used to what I do and how I do it, so I'm not going to adapt because I'm comfortable with what I do. I don't look at it like I'm stuck in my ways.
Yeah.
I look at it as like, no, man, like this is the tool I've used forever, right? So you have a painter out there. I know a painter who's been using the same spray gun for so long, and he's like, that's my baby. Why change it?
I see it from both sides.
You know what I mean?
I see it from both sides.
Yeah.
Like, I see where the value would be like your OG, you stick to your roots, your, everything there. But then I see on the other side of it, like where I even fight it too, where I'm like, I don't like all this technology, but if it wasn't for this technology, I wouldn't be doing the things that I'm doing, or I wouldn't know how to do this thing. So it's like, I see on both sides, but I just wonder, in your opinion, if the bar is getting raised, if it's kind of going to be going that way, but there's still, I like Timeless Tavern or whatever. It's like people still want that OG raggedy bar or whatever. Not saying that it's comparable. I'm just using that as an example. It's like some people want that grassroots, like they've been doing it like this since the 70s. This is what we came for.
Oh, I mean, like prime example, we were at a tattoo convention, right? Right Coast Tattoos booth was the loudest booth in the room
because the
all of us are using coil machines. So all of ours are making noise, and everyone, I mean, we can hear people walking by going, that's the old way. And we're like, what? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Then we take a walk, and all of a sudden we realize we're like, oh, holy shit, we're loud as hell in here because everyone else is using rotaries and they're all quiet. Or next thing you know, you can hear a freaking coil from across the room, which was not possible because everyone would be using coils. But all of a sudden, back in the far right, I'm like, that dude's using a coil too.
Yeah. Go over here and see what he's doing. Yeah. So, on the pain thing, that is an interesting topic. I've not thought about a tattoo I've never had one, so I don't know what it feels like. But that is a thing I've really wondered about. If I ever did get one, can you manage it? And what do people do?
So the great unknown, right, for beginners. That's the scariest part.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just going in being like, holy shit, this is going to suck. This is going to hurt so
Well, you
bad.
hear about it. Your
And,
parents or whatever, or your cousins talked about it.
When people do that, it helps them so much and they have no idea. Because if you go into it like, I got this, and then next thing you know, in your head, you're like, I don't have this. You hit a panic moment, right? Then you got the people that come in the first timers that are shitting a brick. And they're like, oh my God. And I can see it in them. So I chat them up a little bit. I'm like, first one, not a big deal. I'm going to go little by little. You just keep breathing and relax. And I'm like, and you let me know if you want me to stop. You're in control. And I kind of say it like that so they don't panic. They know, okay, I can say stop. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like that's a good little like escape to have. Mm-hmm. And they never stop because I gave them the option.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I get into it, they're like, oh, that's not as bad as I thought. And it's like, yeah, because you thought I was going to cut your arm off. I'm like, no, it's not that bad. So it actually helps them in a way.
Okay.
But then it's like, I still get nervous. I go in to get tattooed. I'm head to toe, and I'm like, oh, here we go again. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a normal thing for a body to start getting nervous. You're getting ready to sit down. You're going to go through a few hours of pain. You're getting the little butterflies going on. But once you sit down and you start going through it, that is where it's a mental thing. You can sit down and you can panic or you can relax. Mm-hmm. You can tell yourself, this is going to be over. Breathe, relax.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, when Shinji's tattooing my ribs, he's running lines like in my head. Like I'm in a roller coaster of panic and calm. It's not easy for me, Like I lay down and first couple lines I'm in panic mode and I'm like, all right, dude, relax. Then you learn his rhythm, right? How he's like wiping ointment on, getting ready to line, runs a line. So in my head, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm learning his rhythm. Now let me take a breath in. And as he starts, I'm letting it out. You know what I mean? And then line's over. Dipping, doing the same rhythm. Breathe in. And then once you find that rhythm and you start to get in your little like meditative zone, it makes it a lot easier. But there are moments, it's hard to get in it. You know what I mean? Like there's moments where you'll be getting tattooed in a bad spot. And no matter how much you try to like, be like, this isn't that bad, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But you get through it. Mm-hmm. And it's the same as like finishing the task, cutting your grass. Mm-hmm. You got through it. And you mentally feel stronger. It's a reward that you got through it.
Yeah.
Only for yourself. Mm-hmm. Nobody else cares. Right. You know what I mean? Nobody else was feeling what you were feeling. I mean, they have when they got their own tattoos. Mm-hmm. But when I'm laying on that table and I'm going through that, when I stand up and I got through that session, I'm like, yes.
Hell yeah.
Like, and it makes me feel good. And then I'm like, next session, I'm going to get through that too. Instead of like, every now and then you got to tap out. I've tapped out. And then it makes the next session fucking scary. Because then you're like, man, I tapped out last time. So you're already going into it with doubt. Mm-hmm. And that sucks. And then you got to coach yourself out of that. You got to be like, all right, man, I got this. Like, and then you lay down and then that first 5 minutes is hard.
Damn, it's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster. But then you have some people, everybody's, pain sensors are different. Like for me, my back sucks. Like it's really bad. Mm-hmm. But then I can get my throat tattooed and I'm all right. It's not terrible. But something about my back gets me. Okay. And then I tattoo some other people and they're like, nah, man, I'm fine. And I'm running, 8-inch lines across their back. And I'm like, you all right? And they're like, this is nothing. And I'm like, you lucky bastard.
Yeah.
Like, I'm envious of them. Uh-huh. Like, I'm not like, is there something wrong with me? I'm just like, no, you're lucky. Yeah. I'm unlucky. But then I'll tattoo them on the chest and they sit like shit.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, I sat fine for my chest. Mm-hmm. So it's different for everybody.
That makes sense. Yeah. Is there a pain cream or?
There's numbing creams out there that work pretty well. Like I've used numbing creams on certain parts of my body that I just know are going to suck, mm-hmm. that I just want to get through it. And then other spots I'm like, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. My whole ribs that I'm getting done with Shinji, I haven't numbed once. Okay. Like a part of me started to be like, maybe I'll numb this little section. And then I'm like, nah, I don't want to go in there with this whole mindset of I'm not going to feel it. Mm-hmm. I just want to know this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. So my brain can be ready for it. And then when I'm laying down and it's happening, I'm like, all right, we'll get through this. First going, ooh, I can feel it there. All right, that's fine. Ooh, I can feel it there. And then you're doing that roller coaster of emotion and it fucks your head all up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, just get in it.
Yeah. Is there any other numbing things that people do? Is there injections or anything? Or?
I mean, there's people getting put to sleep right now.
Really?
Yeah, like getting anesthesia, getting full back pieces. Like,
okay,
not my thing.
No.
You know what I mean?
I don't...
Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're fucking loaded. You got money, and you're like, I'm gonna get my back done in one shot. Let me just pay $10,000 for him to put me to sleep, and pay this guy $10,000 to tattoo me, and then I wake up with a full back piece. For me, it's like I just woke up with a T-shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't earn it. I kind of just woke up, and I'm like, oh, cool, I got a costume. Like, where, like I was saying earlier, like, oh, I got past that session.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good. Like, I'm taking the steps.
Mm-hmm.
So there, when I'm done and I look in the mirror, you get that feeling of like, man, I earned this and I got through it.
Hell yeah.
Versus waking up and I guess just being like, cool, didn't feel it or nothing.
Yeah.
This was sick. Like, I don't know. It's a different mindset.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
That might be the person that pays somebody to cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're more willing to get a tattoo that way, where I'm like, no, I want to cut my grass.
Yeah.
And I want to sit through the
I'm privileged.
I don't want to sit through it, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm going to sit through it to get that same feeling.
Yeah. Huh. That's interesting.
So pain and tattooing is, I mean, that's the scary thing for most people, even people that are heavily tattooed. And for some people, it's like what they almost come back for. You know what I mean? Like, I have some people that literally, like, they come because it's almost therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, as I'm tattooing them, they unload their life. You know what I mean? And I think that pain allows that to happen. And then, like, some people don't really get human touch. And in tattooing, once somebody touches you, there's this, like, barrier that's gone. And now they just want to talk to you about shit where you're kind of like, all right, man, I got some personal stuff. But then you realize what you're putting them in. You're putting them in this pain-induced state when somebody's touching them and they're like, I can just unload right now. And then you'll hear some shit, you know, where I'm like, I'll take that to the grave, but okay, maybe we can change the topic. Like, and that's like a part of tattooing that I enjoy, is when people start to like talk to me. Like, might not always be some crazy shit, but they'll just start talking about their life and stuff, and I'm over here like, what the fuck? Like, that's amazing. like my buddy with the airplane, or like I got one buddy that bought a Model A off me, and he comes to town pretty frequently. He's got a black Malibu, man. It's the king of Ocean City. It's the baddest car.
Is he the king of coastal?
Yes, man.
No way.
And that thing is silly.
That's badass.
Silly.
I was there when he did that.
Were you?
Dude, I was right front center.
That thing.
Right in front of me. Right across from the hotel,
nastiest
dude.
car ever. Yeah, I sold him a 31 Model A shell. It was like pretty original. I stripped everything off it. I was going to make like a high boy out of it. And then I got a lead on another chassis, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to sell this one. And it was a solid car, and that's how I met him. He came down, he bought it. And then it was a few months later, I got a photo. Blown Hemi in it, the whole nine. And I'm like, you bastard. I'm like, that's going to be serious. And like, I can't wait to see it. It's like, yeah, that guy built some serious stuff.
Yeah.
He's like one of us. You know what I mean? Like, he just, when that guy does something, he does it to 100%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's badass. So he's all tatted up, too?
Yeah, pretty tatted up, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know him super well, but like, chatted with him a bunch of times, and he's, you know, bought the car off me. Comes to Ocean City, I try to link up. I think we linked up one time, but like, if I see him, I wave and I talk to him.
Yeah.
But, you know, pretty wild guy to get to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
Because you look at that thing and you're like, all right, like, you got to tell me something about this. Like, something. It could be something stupid, but just need to know something about it. And then 30 minutes later, you know the whole car. Yeah.
Yeah, that's badass. That car is sick. Yeah, I was just curious about the pain thing, and just the.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, just well, because I don't have any, so it's like that's what you always hear. Yeah. You know, and it's like, man, I don't even know if I want one. But
well, see, like that same thought process you're in right now. It's like you'll come in, you'll get it, and you're like, seriously?
That's it?
Yeah, you're like, that's it. Like, I banged my knuckles harder than this, like putting something together.
I know. The worst part about it with me now is like I'm going to just ride it out. Like, just like you're talking about. It's like, there's no negotiating. It's going to suck, but I'm just going to sit there and think about something else or whatever the hell. I have no plans to get one, but, you know, the thought of it's crossed my mind. Yeah. You know,
and, you know, most of the time somebody will sit through one and they're like, one and done. I'm not going to do this again. I just want something that's meaningful. They'll come in and they'll get something for their kid or something like that. And then once you forget about the pain, you'll start like looking at yourself in the mirror after a shower, being like, you know, I kind of want something over here now. And then next thing you know, you're back at the tat shop and you're laying there, and the first two lines you're like,
why'd I do this?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
But then you're done and you're in the mirror and you're like, all right, I feel good. It's like that new pair of shoes feeling. Like, you get new shoes and socks, you got a little strut, you know, and like you get a fresh tattoo and you're like, you know, it's all fresh and shiny and bright and you're walking around, you're like, fuck yeah, I feel good. You know, it's like, it's a morale booster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sick, man. I think it's cool that, I don't know, for people that have them, I think it's badass. I like seeing them, and I love the stories, and like I'll see my buddies with their hands and stuff, and it'll tell me all about them. But I don't know. I always thought I'm not super artistic minded. Like I have where I can look at a car or a truck or whatever, and I can see something. I'm like, that's badass. I can vision it. But for some reason, like a tattoo seems pretty. I don't know if it's because it's serious, or I just don't know if it's like I wouldn't put a truck on my arm or something. Like there's not something I think about on an artistic basis that I would want. Does that make sense?
My take, just knowing you, is you'll want to rework it. You'll be like, yeah, I kind of want to change this, because like when you build something, it'll be awesome, but then you'll stare at it and you'll be like, all right, I want to pull this front end apart because I need to do this, this, and this to it. And I feel like that might be why you've never been tattooed.
Maybe.
Because like you'll look at it and you'll be like, that's cool, but could it be cooler?
Yeah, but do you think though that on that same token though that you just get another one?
Well, that's my trick. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, if you're unhappy with that, we can always do another.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm just saying that's kind of where my mind would go. It's like, oh, I know this, and this, and you know, this is how I do it differently. Well, so let's do this.
I'll have people come into the tat shop, right, and they'll have an old tattoo that we didn't do, but they're like, I don't know, I just want to rework it, and I'm like, look, that'll be an appointment-based thing because like I need more time than I have today. But we can do something else. And then they're like, oh yeah, screw it, let's do something else. And I'm like, yeah, why not?
That's cool.
Let's get that good feeling on the table.
And then they get to know you.
Yeah, they get to know me.
Cool.
And then normally when that happens, then they're like, well, what should I do with that other tattoo? And that's when I'm like, well, if it was me, I would cover it. Because fixing it, it's like, you know, you can only polish a turd so much. And then it's like painful to say that to some people because sometimes it's a tattoo they really loved.
Yeah.
And nowadays they're like, and I'm like, well, look, I can polish it, but it's still going to look a little cruddy.
Yeah.
Or we can just cover it, and I can redo it somewhere else.
Okay.
And it's going to look way better. But you got to commit to 2 tattoos now, not just 1. But once you do the small one on them, then they're all open to more.
Makes
then
sense.
They're like, oh, I'm comfortable with it. You're touching me. We're having fun conversation. They're like, yeah, let's do that cover up. Let's try that. And next thing you know, that's a customer that's sending her sister and then her friends and. Yeah, man. Tattooing's it's a fun thing.
While I'm thinking of it, you know, when you get tattoos, do you guys do any removals?
We do not do removals.
Okay.
We, Todd and his lady are researching it. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, that's fine.
They
I was
got
just
their
curious.
own thing going on,
Well,
but it's something that I think is being looked into.
The reason I asked that was because my mind says, well, you know, a tattoo you can put in ink. Why can't you just put in like some beige ink and cover it up with, you know, skin color? Why can't you do that?
Well, because you'll just see it. You know what I mean? So pigment doesn't dry. It's moist. It stays wet. You know what I mean? So you put a different color on top of it. The color that was there is going to mix with it, and it's going to turn it into a muddy color.
Really?
Yeah. So there's no just
so
like
your colors that are in your skin right now would if you cut that open, it would be moist in there.
Well, you'd see my skin. You would like see the redness in the tissue. You know what I mean? It's not like it's going to leak out red or anything like that.
Yeah.
But like it is underneath my tissue.
Okay.
And when you cut yourself and see a tattoo stitched back together, sometimes it's kind of comical. They line them up really good or they'll be a little off, which then you're kind of like, oh shit, all right, that's kind of wild.
Yeah, well, it tells a story.
Yeah. But like if I put, say I have like a brown and I'm trying to pack a different color on top of it, like it ain't going to lighten up.
Okay.
It is dark.
Well,
you know what I mean? If somebody's like, can you just make it yellow? And you're like, yeah, it doesn't quite work like that.
Okay.
Now on canvas, I can layer paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that paint's dry. I'm going to layer right over top of it. Skin's just a little different.
Yeah. So is there colors that work better? And then like if I came in, I just said I want a green Frankenstein somewhere, would you be like, nah, green doesn't jive, dude?
No, I mean like any color fucking works. It's just like there are certain colors you can't laser off. Or not that you can't, but they're just going to take more to laser off.
Okay.
You know?
Well, not every decision is based on whether or not you can remove it, is it?
No. Well, I mean, some of these kids nowadays with these like these micro tattoos, they're like, if I don't like it, I'll just laser it off. It's real simple. They're not wrong. You know, it's a real fine line, you know, soft gray kind of tattoo. It'll laser off pretty quick. But then what are you doing? Why are you even doing it? Like you're treating this like a costume. You're treating this like it's a shirt you're just going to put on.
Yeah, it's going to the sleeves.
It's weird because like with social media right now, and I don't want to like trash my industry by any means, because like this is how I pay my bills.
Yeah,
but
no, I'm just curious.
It gets very trendy, and then I see people come in and getting these trendy tats, and I'm like, man, you're just wearing the same thing that everyone else, but then you're going to stand here and talk shit on Flash. Well, everyone's wearing that, and I'm like, you just showed me a Pinterest photo with 25,000 likes. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if half of them are wearing that, that's a lot of people, you know, and but they're like, oh, but I love it. All right, you know, like that's cool. Where when I first started getting tattooed, it was like, how can I be different? That was what was neat about it. It's like, what's the craziest thing I can draw, or what's the weirdest thing I can get tattooed on me? And like, you know, back when I was first starting getting a tattoo, dude, like everyone had a Tasmanian devil.
Really?
It was like, I want a ballerina Taz. I want a firefighter Taz. I want a surfer Taz. It was like, Taz was so fucking popular, everyone just got it in their way.
Yeah.
I want a mechanic Taz. And it's like funny, but you're like, why Taz, man? Like, because it was just trendy. And that was pre-internet. You know what I mean? Now that internet's around, trends are faster. It's like every year's a new thing. Like it went from a single line wave to a small anchor to mountains. You know what I mean? Like who would have thought you're going to come to the beach and get a mountain range tattooed on you? I'm like, you don't want a palm tree?
Yeah.
All right, got one of those. I got it back at home. I'm from Colorado. I'm like, so what? I'm like, all right, a little backwards, but okay. And then like this year it's like Roman numerals and like angel numbers or what, you know, whatever the internet's saying. It's just kind of, we roll with it.
Yeah.
Do it the best I can.
That
Do it
makes
as
sense.
clean as I can.
Well, at least you can kind of see it coming too, you know?
Yeah,
like you're like, wow, this is trendy. I'm sure your algorithm is totally,
there's some
towards
trendy stuff
tattoos.
that's terrible, and then there's some that's honestly not that bad. Yeah. Like the Roman numeral thing, I look at it like, all right, cool. Like at least it's not like a book. You're not writing like, because back in the day somebody would come in and be like, oh, I want this whole thing written on me. It's 50 words. And I'm like, that what? Like, so you're gonna like, if you're walking down the boardwalk and some dude's like, yo, let me read your ribs.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stand there and let them read it?
Yeah.
And then they kind of look at me like, why would I let them do that? And I'm like, so why get it tattooed?
Yeah.
Like, and then you see the light bulb start to go off in their head, and it's like, yeah. So like, instead of just doing the whole thing, let's just do the first little thing, like the John 3:16 or whatever. You know what I mean? And make it simple, but get the point across.
Yeah.
So yeah, you gotta help some people out sometimes.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, oh, the old 60-word thing, huh? All right.
Dude, I keep laughing thinking about stuff. Just bad tattoos. Like, I know you've seen like compilations of like just bad tattoos like on the internet. Dude, it amazes me what some people will get on their bodies, dude. Cracks me up.
Amazes me they'll post that shit. Like, you do that tattoo on somebody, and then you're going to turn around and put it on the internet as if you did a good job?
No. I mean, like some tattoos, like it could be like a little, I don't know, like a doobie, like, you know, like on their chest or something. It's like just funny tattoos in general.
Oh,
you know,
people
are proud.
I do a lot of this.
I just think it's like hilarious.
I've done a crab holding a hot dog on the lower back, right? Like, and I'm like, what's this about? They're like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, there's some backstory to this that they're not going to tell me, but whatever, I'll do it. Yeah, I've done some funny stuff. Dude. I had a buddy, he did pass around girl on this girl's lower back. And okay. I was just kind of like,
on that. What is that?
Like a hoe. She was just a pass around girl. Like, okay. And I'm literally like, get the hell out of here. And he's like, nah, man, she really wanted it. You know, try to talk her out of it. She was like, I'm just going to go to the shop down the street. So he was like, let me draw it up for you then. Like, I mean, at some point you're just going to be like, all right, this is my job. Like, and I'm not your parent. So
yeah,
try to help a little bit. But if they're like, yeah, I'm just going to go get it elsewhere. All right, well, let me give it to you the best I can give it to you then.
That's so funny.
Instead of letting you get this out of a bedroom somewhere, because it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't even think about, like, the bad tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, I see it on, you know, social media and stuff, just threads of bad tattoos.
Well, you have, like, bad tattoos that are actually bad, as, like, the application. Mm-hmm. And then you have, like, bad tattoos that are just, like, comical jokes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I had a guy come in one time. And this is a true story. I mean, he straight up came in and he was like, I want a crab with a dick. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, I'm like, you just being funny? He's like, no, seriously. And I was like, all right, let me go draw it up for you. And I go in the back and I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, is this guy actually going to get this or am I wasting my time? So I'm like, let me double down on him, right? So I drew a crab made out of dicks. It was, every arm was different, bent, circumcised, uncircumcised, testicles for eyes. I mean, dude, it was like little cum spurts for the fucking like flippers. And I go out there and I'm like, what do you think, my man? And he was like, holy shit, I love that. He was like, let's do it.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. So I'm like, kind of like, for real, dude? And he was like, yeah, I want it right here on my like side of my knee. All right. I look at him. I'm like, you're in your 40s, bro. Sit down. Like, let's do this. And I tattooed that thing. It was a solid tattoo, but the most ridiculous tattoo.
That's ridiculous. Did you get a picture of it?
I do. I'll show you.
Oh, yeah. I got to
100%.
see that, dude. That's
I mean,
hilarious.
dude, we kept it taped up on the wall forever. Like, people would walk in and look at it, and they're like, is that what I think it is? And we're all laughing like 100%.
That's crazy,
like,
dude.
You never know what people are going to ask for. But
Dude.
that also is the fun part of my job.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what keeps it spicy every day.
Dude,
like,
that's hilarious.
Some days you get somebody that comes in with a straight attitude and we're throwing them out the front door, and the next day you're getting asked for a dick crab. And you're just like, all right. Next day you're tattooing some soccer mom's lower back, and you're just like, this is fucking wild.
That is crazy, man. I thought it was crazy here with just the amount of stuff that would like kind of come in and whatnot. That sounds way crazier, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
You see
I
all
kept it
kinds
kinda
of
light.
kinds. Yeah, I'm sure,
I
dude.
kept it kind of light. There's certain things
All
where I'm like,
kinds of kinds.
I ain't trying to end up on the news. So.
Yeah. Dude, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I've seen some tattoos, and I think it's funny for me. Not funny, but like what I think about is like, if I think it's a good idea as far as like a tattoo, I would sit there and like just let time pass and be like, is it still a good idea? You know what I mean? Like, like I don't know. Does that make sense?
No,
Like,
I mean, absolutely. Like, there's certain kids that'll come in freshly 18. Parents bring them in. They're like, you know, we're going to buy them this for their birthday. And they want something that's a little bigger. You know, and they'll show me a bunch of things. And I'm like, all right, what we're going to do is a drawing consultation. And they're like, well, I want to get it. And I'm like, I understand. But what you're after, this is how it has to happen. And then they'll come in, they'll see the drawing. And they're like, well, what if? And I'm like, just so you know, we would have did that last time. But now it's like you're getting to take a minute. You thought about it for a week. You have more photos to show me because you've been on the internet. I'm showing you what I drew. Now I'm taking your new photos, my drawing, what you like about it, and now we're making it even better. So I'm like, relax.
we're doing it right.
We're going to do it right.
This is
You
the
know what I
process.
mean? If you want something fast and today, get on Pinterest. There's tons of stuff on there, and I'll do whatever you find to the best of my ability. But if you want something custom, it ain't going to be today. I'm going to take a little time and draw it, and that's just how it's going to be.
That's badass.
And some people are like, man, I'll draw it right on your skin. Awesome. I'm glad you can do that. But for me, this is how I do it. You know what I mean? But there are some guys out there that can draw shit right on, and it is like I did homework for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And I am envious. I think it's amazing.
But you look at some tattoos that have trended over time, like the not rebar, but like the barbed wire
and all
like
that.
this tribal tattoos that were cool in the 90s and 2000s. Like that stuff's not even cool now.
I
Like
mean, dude.
not cool. I guess it's cool in its own way. So I can't talk shit. I don't know anything about it.
I mean, like,
I'm just saying that like it's not as
you
maybe
go
it's
through the fads.
yeah, I guess, and
Yeah, I
I
mean,
guess it's not
My
cool.
13-year-old
it's just
tattoo is
a reminder of like
piece of
that
tribal
stage.
on my upper arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you have it?
I got that when
That's
I was
cool.
13. My cousin, I'll never forget this. I was like, dude, I want a Marvin the Martian.
Hell yeah.
He was like, not fucking doing that on you.
you didn't get it?
And I'm like, why not? And he was like, cartoon, dude, you're going to grow up one day and realize that was stupid. So I'm like, all right, you know.
Dude,
I'm
Martin the
like,
Martian was the
that's
shit.
what I said, right? So then, like, he's like, just get a piece of tribal. It's timeless. It'll always look good. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Like, I'm 13. I want to be tattooed. I just told all my friends I'm getting a tattoo this weekend. You can't not get a tattoo now. You're 13. You're a fucking liar. So I'm like,
Especially at
so I'm like,
13.
piece of tribal. I'm like, I guess, yeah, that one's cool. We can just do it on my arm. And like, I almost covered it one year, and I was like, no. This was my first one. You know what I mean? Like, and you gotta keep in mind where you started.
Yeah.
You can't just erase that shit.
Yeah, and that wasn't a dig at tattoos. It was just like one of those things where it's like at the time it seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
And it was a great idea. I'm not talking shit on anybody that gets
Well,
that
no, I mean,
tattoo.
like-
It's cool. It's at the time that's what was trendy and that's what you got.
Yeah.
But
I mean, honestly, now I wish I had the Marvin the Martian.
I
I
mean,
would
too,
think
dude.
back on it. I'm
You
like,
need to
that
get
would have
it.
been fucking killer. I should actually hit him up and be like, you know what you're gonna do on me? A fucking Marvin the Martian 25 years later.
Bro,
Let's
that would
do
be
this.
sick.
That
Yeah.
would be epic.
I guess it's one way to look at it. It's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I mean? Whether or not it's like cool or if it's just a nice reminder of where we were at back in those days or whatever. You
and
know,
that's a great
Sure.
point to bring up, honestly, because like when people come in sometimes, and in my head I'm like, this idea is kind of silly. it ain't my body. It's
Right.
not my temple. So like, I got to remember that, and I got to be like, this is important to them. So I got to still treat this as if it's going on myself. Draw it the best I can, make it as clean as I can, because when they go home, like, that is their tattoo that they're going to look in the mirror and be like, I'm proud of this. You know what I mean? I'm over here like, you should get a dragon, but I guess I'll just do this family crest on you. Like,
Yeah. No, I think that's a different outlook for me, because whether or not it's cool or whatever, it's like it was at the time, so it seemed like a good idea at the time.
well,
That's
it's
one of
full
my favorite
circle
things.
right now, because like tribal is starting to come back.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, like, and a lot of us you would think would be upset about it, but we're really not. It's like, it's kind of fun to do. It's different. It's like, I haven't done tribal since my first couple years of tattooing, which almost every week I had something tribal to do. And like, it would be a little tedious sometimes. And nowadays I'm like, oh, this is actually, like, I haven't done it in so long. I'm like, yeah, let's throw it down, dude. Let's do this.
Hell yeah.
And now that you've been doing it for so long, you're like, how can I make this a little more interesting? So you're drop shadowing it, or you're adding like shadow lines, or you're just doing it negative, or you're just trying to like, recreate it a little bit.
That's cool, because then it resurfaces in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I always thought those tattoos with like, say like the cutout with like the bone showing, or like a spring for a bone, like
Like a skin rip or something.
yeah,
like
it's
that.
like tore open, but like say like a king shock off the rock crawler is like on here. You know what I mean? Like that's the bone.
I've done it.
Isn't that cool? It seems cool, but then you like, is it tacky? Is it cool? I don't know. I guess for me,
Well, then it's cool, like, it's one of those things, right? Where like, that was somebody's awesome idea. And then somebody posted a picture on the internet.
Yeah.
And then 1,000 people out there rip it off. And it's not that it's a bad idea, but then it turns into that, oh shit, they got one of those.
Right. Well, that's my problem. That's why I don't have any
then
tattoos.
And then it turns into that tacky thing. So then, or you go timeless. You know what I mean? Where like, it's hard to tell people like what's timeless. It's like, they got to come in and experience it. And you show them a little bit of tattoo history. And then you're like, these are the images that these like sailors were getting, or these people were getting. And like, this is what they look like today. They were applied this way. They still look like it today. And they were like, so it's kind of a cool tattoo. You know what I mean? It's going to look like this when you're 90. Or you can get this 15 color, no outline tattoo that looks realistic and it looks awesome today. But keep in mind, 10, 15 years down the road, you're going to be thinking about how to cover this up or fix it, because it's not going to look the same.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you have like, what I always say is like, your black line is the foundation to your house. If you build a house with no foundation, it's going to fucking rot away.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's sitting on the ground. It's going to slowly, it might look good. It's going to look good for a few years, but then it's going to start rotting into the ground.
Okay. So when you say that, you mean like an outline, like show me on
like the black outline.
Okay.
So something that sculpts the image.
Okay.
Like your blueprint.
Okay.
And then you go through and you shadow and color and everything.
Gotcha.
Your black outline is just keeping everything together.
Okay. So you wouldn't just do like a green.
No, and then I have like
whatever.
certain tattoos on me that are just color outlines. And the color breaks down faster than a black line.
Gotcha.
So over time, my body just took it in.
Okay.
And now it's gone.
Makes
Or
sense.
it looks mushy and it's just fuzzy. And now I'm like, great. But the tattoo next to it that's 5 years older, I can still read.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody out there listening.
And
to
that's
this
the
might hear
same
that.
thing with red outlines. When I explain to these younger kids, I'm like, look, like, it's not that it's not doable. It's just not the best idea. You know what I mean? Like, you can hit your car with 100 shot of nitrous, but I wouldn't do it to a stock motor.
Right.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Not the best idea.
No. Well, I think that's killer, and you can say it with extreme confidence of experience from your own
Well,
life.
then it's like a lot of this stuff I still have tattooed on me, where like most people get it lasered or covered or whatever, and I'm looking at it like, nah, I'm gonna hold it. So when somebody's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Let me show you the fire I had outlined on me at 18. Now I'm 40, it's almost gone, or it's chunky looking, or it looks like." The one section I do have still looks like a burn. You know what I mean? It's not. It's smooth skin, but just looking at it, it's like textured, and it actually fucking looks like fire burnt me. It doesn't look like a tattoo.
Yeah. Can you say? Could you outline that and it make?
You could rework it, outline it, because like we were talking earlier with certain colors, like I can take black and I can put black over top of anything. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, so if my red outline fell out, I can take black and I'm going to re-outline it, color it in red. It's just going to look like normal fire.
Gotcha.
It'll look better, and it's going to last the rest of your life.
Okay. That's a good tip. I would have never done that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at this point now in my career where if I'm going to do anything that's a color outline, it's going to be not the main focal point. Mm-hmm. It'll be a background. It'll be like a little texture or something like that, to where if it does fuzz out and get a little weird, it's not going to destroy the tattoo.
Gotcha.
But if like the red fire that cuts through the whole thing's outlined in red and it like gets a little light, it's cutting through something that's not the main line work to the image. So if I line the dragon in red and it falls apart, you're going to be like, what the hell's on his arm? It looks all... But if the fire got a little light, there's still a dragon behind it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like certain things you can get away with doing those textures. But then to make that the main thing for the whole tattoo to be outlined in red, it's just kind of like... But the internet is on fire with it right now. So every kid out there is like, oh, I want it in red or white. And we're just like, all right, so now we have to explain all this before we can get to the tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. I mean, like we said with the tribal stuff, I didn't think about that until I said it. Sometimes I say stuff that I didn't fully process, really.
Yeah.
But it's like it, at the time, that's what's cool. So, but it's there's no right or wrong way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's
no, not at all.
Is,
like,
you might
I
look
didn't
back
take offense to
no,
it.
no, no. Okay.
It was just like there was a time and place for certain tattoos.
Yeah, well, I think I said it and then I regretted saying it. Yeah. I guess so.
No, I didn't even really pick up on it.
Yeah.
Really, but.
Well, I just look at it. Once I said it, I look at it from both sides of it now, and I'm like, well, that was what was cool at the time. So there's no right and wrong way, and you might look at it and it's still cool as hell. It probably still is. You might be jacked and look like a beast and wear it proudly. Go for it. I think it's badass. But there's a part of me that's like, now that we're so far down the technology and all this, 2025 stuff, it's like, is it still cool? Well, I guess it's in the eye of the beholder, really.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like, look at these new age kids, right? They're wearing Jenkos.
Mm-hmm. Everything's coming back, right?
I'm like kind of holding my forehead like, dude, what the fuck? They weren't even that cool back in the day. And now these kids are bringing them back. So like that will be the tribal coming back. Mm-hmm. That'll be certain things that were like, oh, that was kind of stupid, is now coming back strong.
Yeah. Maybe, man. And
my fear...
There's no right or wrong way.
No, like my fear with tattooing is that it's going to take a dip soon. Because like I'm paying attention to all these people, right? And it's like... Your grandparents and parents are now heavily tattooed, right? Yeah. Most rebellious kids don't want to do what their parents and grandparents are into. So we're going to get to a point where I feel like these kids are going to be like, nah, I don't want to get tattooed. That's what my parents did. Mm-hmm. And it's going to slow down. You know what I mean? And it'll take like a generational dip for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, their parents are bald. And now it's like, to rebel, I'm going to go get tattooed. And it's like, and it'll come back. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like we've been on a high wave on this for a while, and TV, social media has definitely helped. It helped keep it up there. Mm-hmm. But now I feel like it's so trendy with these like small scratcher style tattoos that now they're like, why do I got to go to a shop? I'll just get my friend in a dorm room to do it. And you're kind of like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah.
So we'll take a little dip, I feel, but the strong ones will stay in it. We know how to navigate it. We'll get through it. These new age kids that were very used to the busyness, it'll dip down and they're going to panic. And they're going to be like, I'm not making any money. And it's like, well, sorry you weren't nice to people. You know what I mean? Or sorry you didn't do that tattoo a little cheaper than you probably should have, to keep them coming back when they're not making as much money.
Yeah.
Like some of my clients are not well off, but I take care of them. Mm-hmm. And like they come in and they feel honored that they're like, man, I love that I can afford this. Mm-hmm. And when I hear them say things like that, I'm like, I love that I'm making it affordable for them, because look how fucking happy they are.
And some people live for that. Like we talk about like hot rods and stuff, like where our hobbies are. This is somebody's whole life, dude. Mm-hmm. And they live and die by this stuff.
Live and
die by it, but like it means everything to them.
Is payment all about money? Or is it like, I just made that person happy?
Depends on who you are.
To me, like, man, I see somebody smile, I feel like that's more valuable than some coins sometimes.
Bro, it depends on who you are, though. It's all on who you are.
I mean, some people, they're like, well, if they ain't paying for it, I ain't doing it. And I'm over here like, well, man, I got into tattooing because I want a tattoo. So if I'm pricing my tattoos to where they're leaving, I'm cheating myself out of doing something I love. So like, all right, I'll walk up and be like, okay, is that a little too much? Well, what were you trying to spend? And then they'll be like, this is what I'm trying to spend. And I'm like, well, let me show you what I can do. Mm-hmm. Almost 9 times out of 10, I'm going to give them my best anyway. Mm-hmm. Because you're being nice. You're talking to me. You're not just like, nah, this shit's too expensive, and walk out.
Yeah.
You're like, nah, and then I'm nice enough to recognize like, okay, you might not have the money that, you need for this tattoo. So let me chat with you for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what do you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you know, sometimes people aren't on the same path.
Yep.
So I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm going to make this affordable for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to get a cool tattoo. And maybe somebody you know will come to me and get a sleeve or something like that. But honestly, that's not my main goal.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to watch you leave here happy. Yep. And then Right Coast now has somebody else on the street going, those guys are so nice and fair that that's my spot.
Oh, for sure.
And that's my reward. You know 100%. What I mean? So since day one at Right Coast, I've always just put that first. Like, I didn't really, like, I never put money first. It was like, no, I just want a tattoo. And then at the end of the week, I'm like, oh, I did okay.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the next week, I'm still doing the same rhythm, saying, and at the, oh, I made a little bit of money. That's cool. Instead of being like, what I make today? What I make today?
It follows.
And then next thing you know, you're in this grumpy ass attitude because you're worried about what you're making instead of having fun in a career that you worked hard to get in. You got to enjoy life, man.
Yeah.
Like, and if you're stressing about every fucking dollar, rethink your life. Remap it because you're miserable and it's going to be like this forever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say that sometimes because money is important. You know what I mean? It keeps especially a roof over your head.
This day and age, man. We were talking about this yesterday with just food prices. Like literally just
it's tough.
Just trying to, you know, eat a healthy diet.
Yeah.
It's freaking tough, dude. So,
like when you go to the grocery store and there's a health food section, I'm like, what the fuck's the rest of it?
Right.
I'm like, so I'm looking around and I'm like, so I'm paying for poison? You know what I mean? I'm like, now that I'm working out, eating healthier, feeling great, you start to look at these things. Like I was just telling my wife, I left my workout this morning and I was like, man, I feel like shit. She's like, why? And I'm like, it was the snacking last night. Like we had a great dinner. My wife cooked. And then next thing you know, we're sitting down, we're having a little bowl of ice cream and, you know, a little pudding and shit. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, I feel like crap today, man. Like shitty fuel, you know?
Yep. No, I agree, man. It's getting tough, but I'm glad that there's people out there and there are businesses out there that are doing the same thing you are because they want to stay afloat and keep the lights on too. So
yeah, well, that's that mom and pop attitude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like you can be corporate and you can try to squeeze every penny, but
I mean, even the mechanics and stuff are doing that same thing. You know what I mean? So I think it's just the way it is right now.
Well, where I'm fortunate, I think, in my career is that a lot of what I do is made with my hands. You know, I still have equipment I have to buy and all the throwaways and all that. But I can choose to do something a little cheaper. Where if that mechanic's hitting up Napa and those parts went up, he can't take a hit. You know what I mean? So it is hard for a lot of people out there right now. But that mechanic that's taking that hit, when he comes to my shop, I want to recognize that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be like, look, like I'm not going to try to fucking sit here and hit you real hard for this tattoo. Like, what are you trying to spend? Let's keep it within your budget. And then they're happy, I'm happy, and it works out.
Yeah, and what's cool about the tattoo thing is like you come in there with an idea, and you can work within the parameters and the price, and then you can make it happen. Where you know, it's not just like yes or no. That's killer.
And then even sometimes I'm like, yeah, but we can break it up. Let's just do your line work today. You know what I mean? And then you come back when you have a little bit more and we'll do your shade.
That's what it takes though, like to go in there to learn that. Because like a guy like me is like all or nothing. You know what I mean?
Most people,
I don't know
they
that.
think they're going to walk in and they got to sit for hours and just be like, walk out with this huge tattoo.
And what's funny is like, you're like, dude, you're talking about an art consultation, bro. You need to relax.
Yeah.
You're in phase one. You're in the want phase. You know
there's no need to sweat right now. Like no one's touching you.
Yeah. I want to be respectful of your time. We've been going for a while, but the one thing I wanted to ask before we wrap up is, you know, with technology and all this shit going on and 3D printers, and I can get on my computer and design anything I want and all this stuff, right? It's just amazing. How come nobody's ever made this tattoo machine you can just dump your arm in?
They're trying.
And just get a tattoo or just to, you know.
They're trying.
I figured.
They're trying hard, yeah.
I figured.
There's people out there that are itching to try to get that and be the first
ones.
Or
Or just like set it on you. It has like a 12-inch diameter.
There's things a machine cannot do. You know what I mean? Like when I grab skin and I feel your skin, there's something about your skin that's going to tell me how I have to line on it.
Okay.
A machine's
so you ain't cheating it.
A machine's not going to look at that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, a machine might be able to be like, oh, I need to stretch the skin a little bit. Do you know how much?
Right.
Do you know, like, no?
And are you trusting the machine's not going to hurt you, I guess?
Like, I mean,
I don't know. It's a lot to it.
You never know, though, because with AI and all that shit, like all the problems that would take people 50 years to figure out, this thing might tighten it up in 2 years.
Right.
And
I know.
then who knows?
I was
You know
just
what
sitting there
mean?
thinking
Like,
about that a minute ago. It wasn't even on a list of questions that I had, and I was like, dude, this is how my brain works. But I'm like, I could design some cool stuff.
Yeah.
And, just...
Well, I mean, like, definitely YouTube that, because there are some people out there that are already using a CNC machine with a tattoo machine in it.
Okay.
And they're just
I
like,
figured,
and it
dude.
does a little image. And it's
I
like,
figured.
And I'm like, it's not good. But
Yeah.
I'm like, but you're trying.
Mm-hmm.
So just baby steps, you know what I mean? If they're trying now in 10 years, oh shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's it going to be?
Yeah.
Personally, though, I don't think they'll ever be able to hit the mark people want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you put your arm in a machine, there ain't no breaks.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no, I'm not feeling good. Hey, can I get a sip of my water?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got to pee.
It's personal.
All of that's gone. Hey, man, I hit start, sit still.
Yeah.
You know? And then you're along for the ride until the program's done.
Yeah.
So I think there's certain things with that I don't think they'll be able to fix.
I agree. It does seem very personal, and I think that's probably why it's never been done. Probably because there's so many human things that go along with it. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So, is there any social media things you want to shout out on here? It's the first one I've ever done, but
Yeah, I mean,
figured if people want to see your work,
JBrown_RCT is my Instagram. I don't really post a whole lot. I try not to live on Instagram. I know it's an important aspect of today's world, but for me, I try to make it not. You know what I mean? Like, I get on there a little bit every morning, and then the rest of the day is just me and my friends.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm with my coworkers right now. I'm with my wife right now. And that's how I kind of need it to be.
It's badass though. I see you post some stuff with your work.
Oh, yeah,
that's
gotta
cool
stay
for
relevant,
Yeah,
you know?
it'd be cool for people to see your work.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's badass.
That's kind of what I mainly use it for. I had a friend of mine recently. He was like, hey, you got to start putting personal stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's not why I do it. And he's like, well, people don't just want to see your work. They want to see the guy doing the work. And it made a lot of sense to me. I was like, oh, that's actually like, you see me driving my hot rod around, you're going to be like, oh, I'm a hot rodder.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get tattooed by this guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, that makes sense, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to use that. So I put a little bit of motorcycle stuff up, But then you get the little backlash from that where you're like, 18-year-old girl that follows you for your tats is like, you just put motorcycle stuff up. And I'm like, well, honey, I'm like,
all kinds
it's
of
going to
kinds.
go all different types of
All
ways.
kinds of
I'm
kinds.
like, yeah, I can't juggle this to make everyone happy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I keep it to a minimum. Like, get out in your yard, man. Cut your grass, frickin' feel the sun, like, accomplish something. Get off the phone.
Work out.
Yeah, work out. Like,
That's
the
my-
phone's there. It's part of our lives. It'll always be there. But, like, be mindful of your space and who's in it. Because, like, life's passing by and you're letting it pass by faster by being on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's okay. Do an hour a day, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, but live your life.
Yeah. I say all the time, don't forget to live.
Yeah.
We get so caught up in like our day-to-day stuff, and I'm not preaching. I'm the same way. I do it too. It's hard. You gotta
I'm
grind
guilty,
and all that stuff. But
I'll
at the
catch
same
myself
time,
doom scrolling, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Wow, my knees numb."
I'm like, man, I wanna shoot my bow or whatever it is, and you gotta seize the time to do it. Because if not, it's like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
100%.
What are we doing here? Because
It's kind of the same thing we were talking earlier with, like, when I leave the shop, like, it stays there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm at home. I'm going to do something a little different.
Yeah. Well, same thing here. I mean, honestly, the same thing for me. I do the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone's like, dude, your shop is so cool. But you spend so much time in here. And I'm like, dude, at 5 o'clock, I am not here. So unless I'm up here. But for the most part, powder is not what I think about all day long.
And I'm one of them, dude.
So-
Every time I come here, you inspire me in some type of way. Like, I'll go home and clean my garage. Like, I'll be at home and I'm like, this shit is dirty. And I'm like, I got to sweep this up.
Yeah.
Or
Well-
it was like, like watching you cut that Jeep in half and doing a truck. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, that project in my garage is not that hard. I'm like, let me just go tackle that because I'm making a big deal out of it. And I'm watching Ben over here cut a Jeep in half.
It still remains to be done, but I'm chipping
even,
away.
even so, like every now and then when you work on it, it's like, oh, you got 3 rails put in place, but I'm looking at the welds on it and I'm like, God, that's clean.
Yeah.
So like, even
Thanks,
though you only got 3 done, it's got 3 at 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
didn't get 90% done at 40% quality. Because then it's like, oh, this thing's just a rock crawler. Where
Yeah.
It's a rock crawler. You know what I mean? Like when you look at that thing, you're going to know it's something.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
because that's how I roll, man. And you know what's funny is when I take a break from something, it's inadvertent, but usually I come back to it with either better ideas or I come back because there's something right now. There's something that's probably bothering me with it. I don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is. Something somewhere.
Just walked away from it.
Literally.
Yeah.
But then I go back and like say it's the gas tank lid. the way it hinges or something, or the bolt sticking out,
Yeah.
whatever. And I'll fix it, and I'm like, my fire is lit so burning freaking deep that like there's no taking me off of it. But right now, I'm not saying that's what's wrong with it, but I've found that so many times where I'll cut a piece of metal and it wasn't exactly straight or something, and I'm like, I convince myself it's okay, but inadvertently it's driving me nuts.
You
and
cut it off.
And then I have to come back and refix it for me to continue on. But I didn't know it was bothering me the whole time. It's crazy.
That's just like keeping that 100% quality.
Yeah,
though.
dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you skip something that bothers you that bad, that tells me like everything in life is 100%. Like
I'm not perfect, but
yeah,
I try
none
to
of us
be.
are perfect,
Yeah.
but the try is all we can do.
Yeah, striving, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm honored to have that thing sitting there waiting for me.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no, I think
I'm
it's
literally, that's my new outlook, is I'm honored to be here and do this. You know what I mean? Like my whole outlook since I read that has changed. Like I'm going to freaking be honored to mow my grass or do this hard thing. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still healthy enough to do these hard things, which is another thing I always think about.
Dude,
I'm like,
so
I'm
thankful.
41 and, I'm doing these deadlifts, I'm doing yard work and cutting trees up. And I'm like, I'm not saying 41 like I'm old, but I know a lot of people my age that are not,
They're not
very
doing what you're
healthy.
doing.
And I'm like, dude, you can't even pick up some branches, bro. I'm like, so when I'm out there doing it and sweating, I love it. I'm
Hell
like,
yeah.
oh, I can do this. And I feel good about it.
yeah.
Sleep good that night too,
Fuck
because
yeah.
you're like, you actually did something that
Oh,
day.
yeah. Dude.
First going to your doctor being like, I got sleep apnea. It's
Right.
like, well, maybe work out.
Right.
Try
Go to
something.
bed tired.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, dude. Well, let's wrap this thing up,
Yeah,
man. Get out of
100%.
here and go on to something else. But, dude, I really appreciate you coming on here and giving me, the background of you. It is super interesting
Yeah,
to
this
learn
is
about
super
you.
fun. It's the first one I've ever done. So,
We killed it, dude.
Super interesting.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, super fun.
All right, man.
Appreciate
Well,
you
we're
having me.
checking out. Peace.
All right.